All right, guys. How is everybody doing this morning? Let's see. Try to zoom in on this a little bit. There we go. All right, we have a web warrior tier list today. I am pretty excited to do this one. I think I haven't ranked one with Soap yet, so that's going to be exciting here. Mono Ludico says, Webware Fanatic, please do your best to be unbiased when evaluating Peter Parker's Spider-Man. No promises there. Yeah, we'll see what happens with the tier list, but you guys definitely have a say in how I rank things. So, Matthew says, "Hey, probably don't call him Well War Fanatic. You might get sued by the wildlife people, just like the WWE did. Did they really? What is the wildlife people? What does WWF stand for that? And guys, can you let me know in the chat if you can hear me? Because yeah, I never know on these things if you guys can hear me or not. So I just want to make sure that's the correct like audio mic thing from my computer. So um but yeah, I mean I'm ready for his tier list. We're gonna do this one a little bit differently. I have some stuff pulled up here that hopefully I can screen share for you guys. Let me see here. Share. No, that's not the right button. I think so. I can stop sharing that screen and then I can share like a screen like that. Let me see how that looks on the. Yeah. So I can actually show the cards. I think we can go a little bit more in depth for the heroes here and talk about each card. So yeah, let me go back to the tier list though. So each time we rank a hero, I'll like go to their card specifically for you guys and show them for you guys to see. So stop sharing. Yeah, and then I don't want to accidentally click end stream. So I'm gonna try to be super careful about how I do this here. Let's see, share. Okay, we're back on the tier list. Okay, Iron Stark says if we're doing Web Warriors, we gotta talk about Spider Verse. Oh, you mean the Spider Verse movie? When is part 2 to Beyond the Spider Verse coming out? Because man, I can't believe it ended on a cliffhanger. I didn't know that it was going to end on a cliffhanger. So yeah, in the theaters, I was pretty upset because I was watching the movie and it was getting super hype. And then I remember thinking, how are they gonna end this in like 10, 20 minutes? Because I feel like we've been here for a minute. And then the cliffhanger, I was like, oh my goodness. So yeah, I don't know when that's gonna come out. Christian, thank you for confirming that you guys can hear me. Matthew says, World Wildlife Fund. That's why the WWE, the wrestling, had to change from WWF to WWE. Really? Oh, I did not know that. Yeah, when I was in elementary school, I loved the WWE. I think it was already WWE back then, but I thought so. I never had cable, but my friends that would have cable, I thought that that was called the WWF, and then like on local TV, it was called WWE. So I will watch like WWE SmackDown, I think is what it was called. Like in primary school, whenever like I would be at home and stuff, and I would try to go to like my friend's house or my cousin's house to watch the WWF. I think it was called Raw, I think. So I always thought that WWF and WWE were like two different things. Like one was like you pay for cable for it, and one of them is like free that airs everywhere. Menom, what is up, Menom? Welcome to the chat. I'm glad you could join us. Maluco says, okay, yeah. I mean, okay. You know what? What I'm gonna do is I'm going to not rank Peter Parker first. I think that would be my show of faith to be unbiased to. Okay, to not be unbiased. I'm still gonna be super biased, but like to resist biasness. So if chat wants to, you guys can actually rank Spider-Man Peter Parker before I have a chance to. I did have a poll for you guys, and I asked you guys if you wanted me to take the first turn for this hero tier list debates, or if you guys want to take the first turn, and you guys wanted me to do it. So I'll pick the first hero whenever we get started. But because of Mono Ludico, I will not pick Peter Parker Spider-Man. I'm going to leave that one not for my first pick. I may pick it my second pick. Okay, so I may still rank him, but we'll see. A fellow human being, welcome to chat, says it's 2027. Uh, I, I don't get it. I don't get it. Iron Stark says I had the Sam be same reaction to Beyond the Spider-Verse ending. Yeah, yeah. It's taken so long to get a third movie. Yeah, like that's crazy. I recently watched Wicked, 1 and 2, with my wife. We just watched, I think, like was it last month or this month? I don't know. It was very, very recent. And I was like, I could have sworn I remember Wicked 1 like came out and everyone was like going crazy about it. And how did Wicked 2 come out so much like closer to Wicked 1? Like the Spider-Man, Beyond the Spider-Verse came out, right? Like the second movie. And then Wicked came out after that, I think, right? And then Wicked 2 came out right after, and then the part 2 of, Beyond Spider-Verse still isn't out yet. So, like, I don't know what's going on with that. That's not cool. Uh, animation, like, I know they put a lot of work in animation, but I feel like with, like, actors, isn't it harder to, like, get the effects for, like, live action? I'm not entirely sure because I know that the animation for, those Spider-Verse movies are, like, a lot of work is put into that, so, um, Matthew says, saying that they got sued and lost. Wait, who got sued? Am I gonna get sued for WWF? Wait, no, no, okay. My channel is World War Fanatic. I don't coin the WWF. Okay, actually, I think I have coined that in like polls and stuff. But wait, who lost? The person that was suing, like the wildlife, or the WWE, like the wrestling people. Oh, okay. Fellow Human says Beyond Spider-Verse comes out in 2027. Oh, dang. Oh man, like I don't know about you guys. I have really bad memory, and I lose so much hype, and just I don't remember things that happened in movies before, and I almost never rewatch movies like that. Like whenever I rewatch a movie, it's just because like we just feel like we're watching a movie. So like, man, I don't know. Dang, that sucks. Like I'm gonna have to rewatch the first one and the second one. I think. I mean, they were really good movies, so I'm excited to rewatch them again. But that's such a long time. 2027. Is it has it been announced if it's gonna be like, early in 2027, like, in the spring, or is it gonna be like summer or like, in the winter? Iron Star Curtis says Wicked movies were filmed at the same time back to back. Oh, okay, okay, gotcha. So they just had to edit the like CGI and all that stuff. Yeah, my wife loves those movies, guys. Yeah, she was telling me this is gonna be the best thing you've ever seen, and she was telling me how the CGI, like everything is real. She was like, I've never seen such real, like realisticness in like how the graphics are and all that stuff. And I don't know, guys. I don't know if I agree with that. I'm also not like very knowledgeable. So like she knew all the songs that they were playing in Wicked. And I was like, I've never heard any of these songs in my life. How do you know these songs? Um yeah, and then like the little bits that I do know about like Wizard and Oz, I feel like the movie did not click up. There's a funny thing we're talking about. So spoilers for Wicked. So you guys have not seen it, don't. I mean, this is not gonna be like a really big spoiler. I think it's nothing to do with like the main like plot. But so you guys know in Wizard of Oz, like there's a lion, right? And the lion, he's walking, right? So then whenever we saw the lion in Wicked, I was like, why is it on four legs? Isn't the lion supposed to be walking? And then like she was like, no, the lion is it's played by an actor. So that's why like they're walking. And I was like, doesn't make any sense because I feel like I've seen like movies and stuff like that where like if an actor is playing like a four-legged animal, they like still crawl, right? Like well, we recently watched the Nutcracker like in during Christmas, and like I think there's an actor playing the dog, and they were crawling. They're all like on all fours. So I was like, what do you mean? Like, I feel like the actor, like back in the old Wizard of Oz movies, could have been like on all fours to crawl. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I feel the lion should have walked. I feel like it was a walking lion, a walking talking lion. Um, Matthew says you are safe. I was joking from the comment. Okay, whew, the wrestling guys lost. Wait, how are you joking from the comment? The wrestling guys lost, so they got sued successfully. Oh man, okay. Guys, please don't call me WWF. I'm Web Ward Fanatic. I don't want to get sued. Minimum says, from what I heard, they hadn't even started working on Beyond Spider-Verse 2 when Part 1 came out. Really? That's That's like actually really disappointing because yeah, I don't know. So I'm a big fan of like stuff that is like planned out really well, like in movies and stuff like that. So I don't know if you guys like watch One Piece, but I went back to a few times. But like One Piece, I feel like it's such a cool story because like back like 20 years ago of like real lifetime, like there's characters mentioned. Like Jinbei is one that I always go to. He's like back in like one of the first arcs. We're talking about fishmen and stuff like that, and then like they mentioned this fishman named Jinbei, and literally in 10 years of real life time, we never meet the character. And then when we meet him, 10 years later in our time, in like the One Piece where it's like, been less than a year. But whenever we meet Jinbei, we're like, oh snap, this character like mixes like completely like fits in the story like what we heard about him, right? Like everything like meshes perfectly. So like I just like the planning of One Piece. Like it's been, over like I don't know, 20 years, 30 years, whatever. And like the story seems to have like a planned ending and it's like leading towards that, right? Obviously there's stuff that's like kind of, just put in there. But I thought that the Spiders movies were also very well planned. And I kind of felt like, I don't know, I almost thought that it was written like with a sequel in mind almost, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they hadn't started working on it. That's kind of I'm not sure they have like a plain ending for it. Like back to Wicked. I feel like Wicked clearly was not planned, right? Whenever they create like the story of the Wizard of Oz, right? I'm not too knowledgeable about that stuff. So for Wicked, um, Minimum says, from what I heard, they hadn't even started working on Survivors 2 yet. Professor Hex, welcome to chat, Professor Hex. June, I believe. Oh, so okay, so June 2027 for Spider Verse. Yeah, that's not exciting for me. Dang it, that's too long. Monolitico says everything in those movies is incredible. Music, writing, graphics. Yep, my wife would totally agree. Um, I think I am someone that does not appreciate that stuff as much. Even for like Across the Spider Verse, like I can see the like work that's in the animation, how they like change colors and all that stuff. But I personally was not like I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna be a super hot take. Like I wasn't like wowed by it. I just don't really appreciate that stuff as much, right? Like a common thing that people say about the MCU is that for like Iron Man's suit, people often say like in the past they use like props for like his helmet and all that stuff, and then now they use CGI for like the nanotech. But like for me, the first time he started using nanotech, I was like super hyped. I was like, that looks awesome. And like people would say that it doesn't look real anymore. I don't know, guys. Like, I don't have that ability to like tell that. So it looks great and it looks true to me. So I'm completely fine with like the nanotech and stuff like that where they're using CGI. Because yeah, I don't know. I still think the MCU movies look really good. Yeah, like Avatar, the what's it called? Like that series, like not the Airbender, but like the Way of Water and stuff like that. I haven't seen Way of Water, only the very first one. I really enjoyed that first movie, like from like years ago, but I never thought the CGI. I mean, I thought CGI was great. Like I thought it looked realistic, but I don't think I was like wowed by it. I think that's just like kind of my personality. I'm not really watching movies for like the effects. I'm more so watching it for like the plot and the story. That's kind of what I care about for movies. Minimum says there's a lion in the Wizard of Oz. Minimum says you're telling me there's flying monkeys next. Yeah, I actually had such bad memory. I did not remember there's flying monkeys in the Wizard of Oz. I don't really watch or like I don't really keep up with that stuff. So yeah, that was a pretty fun. I don't know if it was that fun. It actually took us a few days to finish like those two Wicked movies because we kept pausing. Proof Rock says I think you should just remove all the tiers except for S. Then we could argue which order they're in. Ah, that's a I I think that that's a fun take. Some of these heroes I don't particularly think are in S tier, but I'm not gonna say too much else on it. I think let's get started on the tier list here soon. Monalugo says, I think Wicked is what he's referring to. Wicked did not blow your mind. The textures are surreal. The atmosphere is like from another world. All that combined with the music and good writing, pure art, man. Man. Okay, so man, personally, okay, I think that there's nothing wrong with CGI. Like, I didn't think like, wow, this is bad. Like, this doesn't look realistic. What I can comment on is the the writing. Like I felt like that they're setting up Galinda and the Wicked like Witch of the West. I forgot her name. But the two of them to be like this like epic like rivalry, but also like an epic like friendship, right? And to me, it didn't really come across in those like movies. I didn't really feel like they set up enough to where like they're friends. I feel like the biggest moment was whenever the Green Witch was like got tricked by Galinda and she was doing like the dance with like I don't know this thing, and she was like doing that dance, and it was like kind of like embarrassing for her. And then Galinda joined her, and they like did like the embarrassing dance together, and then like they like I think that was kind of like the big moment. I think that was a great scene, so I enjoy that scene. I just didn't feel like their bond really like solidified to where I don't know. I needed a little bit more of like we're like best friends, like yeah, I don't know, maybe like a life or die moment or something like that. Like if like they saved each other's lives, something like that. Like I don't know. I just need more from that. And then for the writing, I just didn't feel like I feel like this was like one of those prequels that was clearly planned after the original movie, and like the stuff doesn't feel canon, right? It doesn't make sense to me. Like I don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it, but like a lot of stuff that they try to click back to the original Wizard of Oz, I feel like I don't know. I just felt like I don't know if you guys have seen like Mufasa, like the prequel for Lion King. I think that movie I felt more of like okay, this kind of like is obviously planned before like sorry, this movie was not planned whenever the Lion King was introduced, but a lot of those things made sense to me. For example, like Mufasa, Simba, those are all like African names, right? And I've always thought, why is Scar's name Scar? Like, why isn't it like Mufasa, Simba, something like that, right? And then we learned in the prequel, his name was originally Taka. That's so cool to me. Like, I thought that was awesome, and like it just kind of makes sense to me, right? And I always also thought that because Mufasa has red hair, right? The lion, Simba's red hair, so clearly, like his bloodline, they have red hair. Why did Scar have black hair? Like, and his Scar's kids also have black hair. Why are Scar and Mufasa brothers, but one had black hair, one had red hair? And then in the prequel for Mufasa, we find okay, they weren't blood brothers. I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I don't know, like even though it's clearly like maybe not in the original script for Lion King, a lot of that stuff just answered questions for me, and I felt like it clicked a little bit better than Wicked did for Wizard of Oz. Like, I feel like Wicked kind of like contradicts a lot of things that happened in Wizard of Oz. And don't get at me, I'm not I'm not super knowledgeable about Wizard of Oz. But yeah. Let's see. Matthew says the traditional Wicked story is cool, although the actresses playing the main parts are a bit too nuts. Some hilarious interviews out there with them, and oh, okay, I haven't seen any interviews with it, but that's kind of fun to hear. Yeah, I thought that Ariana Grande is an amazing actress. I think this is I don't know if she's acted before. I haven't seen her like act anything, but I think like she killed the role of Galinda. Like I don't really know how to explain it, but like I just felt like she was like a really good actress for that role. Like she was like perfect for that. Matthew says saw the stage show in London. My wife dragged me to it. Yeah, yeah. My wife has asked me for a minute to watch Wicked. Really enjoyed it though, and never thought I would. Oh, cool. Okay, maybe the stage show is because I know that's where all the fans from the Wicked movies like are from, right? Like from that show or something. Like what's it called? Like a live action like theater type of thing. Monological says was talking about oh sorry. Okay. Let me reread your comment with the context of the Spider-Verse movie. Sorry, man. Um so Spider-Verse movies did not blow my mind. Uh is what he's asking me. The textures are surreal. The atmosphere is like from another world. All that combined with the music and good writing, pure art for Spider-Verse. Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah. The writing for Spider-Verse is like chef's kiss. I thought it was very good. Oh man, okay. So I thought like the first movie, I actually liked the first one better than the second one. I liked how they're going more into like Gwen's story for the second one. The second movie, there's one thing that like bugged me to no end, and I don't know if you guys agree with this. I talked to some other people about this as well, but in the Spider-Verse, Beyond Spider-Verse movie, so the sequel that's already been released, all the Spider-Men chase Miles and they're basically listening to Miguel. And from what I gather, it's been a while, so maybe I don't remember like correctly, But from what I got, they're kind of telling Miles, dude, you cannot save your dad. You have to let your dad die because it's a canon event. So don't mess that up and don't like mess up our world. But from what I know about the Spider-Man character, and like some of those are Peter Parker Spider-Mans, Spider-Man would always try to save the person, even if it causes like the whole world to like blow up, right? Like that's kind of Spider-Man's character, right? Like he's not going to do like the greater thing that has him not saving a life in front of him, right? So it made like that kind of upset me because I felt like they had to, in order to push up, like I don't know, like I don't, in order to push up this movie and Miles like being kind of solo, they had to like poop on like every Peter Parker Spider-Man. And like there's a part where the Spectacular Spider-Man, I don't know if you guys have seen that animated series, the Spectacular Spider-Man. I know that one's it's like a huge fan favorite, but that Spectacular Spider-Man was in the movie and he just pops out and he's like, Miles, like, I'm paraphrasing. He's like, you gotta let your dad die. Like, you have to let him die. Like, trust me. Like, we're not gonna try to save your dad. We're gonna stop you from saving your dad because it's a canon event. And I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure Peter Parker, if he had a chance, would go back and save every Uncle Ben that he could. Like, I can't see him like letting Uncle Ben die like purposefully, right? I don't know. I just that was like my one gripe. But other than that, I thought the movie was great. And I only found this out recently. Oscar Isaac plays Miguel. Um, that's so cool. Like I loved Miguel's voice acting. I thought it was like very, very good. And yeah, I mean, he's a very cool character. I love the music whenever he would like with his claws and all that stuff. That was like super hype. But yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's still a great movie. I just didn't feel like maybe if it showed Miguel lying to all the Spider-Man and like something with like a lie where like, oh, Miles is trying to do this, something like that. But like not straight up like we can't let Miles save his dad. Like that just doesn't make sense to me. Um, okay, sorry about that tangent there. Okay, we gotta get started soon, but let me catch up here in the comments and then we'll get started here on the tier list. Minimum says, I just figured Scar was going great and died. Yeah, I mean, for me, I feel like he would have died in red, right? Because like, why is he dying in black? But yeah, yeah, that's hilarious. Um, lions dyeing their hair. Professor Hex says she really is. I'm not. Are you talking about Ariana Grande being a great actress for Galinda? I'm not sure if she's good in other roles though, so I will say that. But I was like pleasantly surprised. Like she was like amazing. Yeah. Um, Mono Ludico. It's like I thought I heard things like from outside, like from like I don't know fans of it that are saying that guys, can you remind me what's the name of the Wicked Witch of the West? But like that actress was like very good. I thought she was good. Like I have no complaints about her acting, but I feel like the role didn't give her like as much of a chance to like show like her acting chops. So like I can't really say if she's like a good actress or not, right? But I feel like the Galinda role, I feel like that's like a really fun role to play, but I also feel like it was very difficult. Like I feel like there's a lot of like nuances in how like the Galinda character like operates. And I feel like Ariana like did that perfectly. Like I was telling my wife that I was like, holy cow. Like I didn't know like she's like a singer, but it's like she's an like amazing actress. So like I don't know. Yeah, yeah, that was crazy. Monluca says yes. The discrepancies in Lion King were not well planned. Yeah, I can. There's some stuff that bugged me about Lion King as well. But I did like some of the answers that they gave us in Mufasa. But it was clear that it was definitely like not a movie that was written like Lion King did not have this like prequel written, right? Like it's really cool. Like if you guys like, I'm gonna jump back to One Piece. There's so many stuff in One Piece that the author Oda, he's never going to actually write a story, but he has like this prequel for like all these characters already like written. And like I love stuff like that. A common show that I've heard is that like manga artists, they'll often like they want to think of these characters as real people. So they have already planned out, like, for example, the main character's favorite food, their height, their birthday, like all that stuff to make it feel like a real person to them. So when they're writing about it, they have like all these intricate backstories already planned out, which we may never ever like hear about or see, but sometimes it will like touch on stuff like that. So like I think that that's really, really cool. I just wish that more stories like in the world were planned out that way. Um, where we at? Let me see. Proofrock says, I was kind of sad that they made Miguel almost like a backer. Yeah, I love the 2099 series. Yeah, like he didn't feel like that's another thing. Okay, I have another complaint about Spider-Verse. I feel like that a lot of the characters were like kind of changed, right? Like I just I don't know. Yeah, like Miguel is just a pure villain almost, right? But I guess we haven't gotten too deep into his Spider-Verse version, like his backstory. Maybe it'll like come up with the reason why like he's that way. Maybe we'll sympathize more with him. But right now he's not that sympathizable. He's just cool, I guess. Um and like he's like jacked. Like I feel like he's not that jacked normally, right? Like yeah, I feel like they like bumped him up to make him like super jacked and like imposing, which like I don't mind, but I feel like it's not really like that's not really Spider-Man 29. I feel like Spider-Man 29 is more like agile and stuff, right? Can't wait till we get him in Marvel Champions, though. That's gonna be super hype. Professor Hex says, yeah, the Ariana Grande actress is very good at acting. Olaf, welcome to chat. She kind of plays the same character, even dating back to Victorious. Okay, so that's Ariana Grande playing like the same type of character. Okay, okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if she's good or not. I haven't seen that show, but yeah, I mean, maybe she's playing herself. That'd be kind of funny. I think my wife said that that's kind of how she pictures her in real life or something. Okay, guys, let's get started with the tier list. Okay, so I'm caught up here with chat. We're doing a hero tier list debate here with chat, and we're ranking all these spider heroes in Marvel Champs. So we have 7 spider heroes right here. We're ranking all of them. Let me put them in order of like release real quick. So I should have done it earlier. We have Peter Parker. We have Jessica Drew. We got Miles and Gwen. Um, we have Spider Ham, SPDR, and then we have Silk right here. So these 7 star heroes, and then this is a fun hero tier list. I put it in the title. So basically, if the design is like peak design, like super duper fun, awesome, amazing hero, we put in S tier. If it's a very fun hero, we put in A tier. If it's a fun hero, we put in a B tier, but not very fun, right? It's just this is a good time, but not like crazy design or anything like that. C tier is they're usually fun, but sometimes they can be kind of less fun. And then D is like a hero that you enjoy playing. There's very few heroes, I think, in Marvel Champs that go in the D tier. So yeah, okay. So I had a poll mention and I asked you guys if you guys wanted me to take the first turn or to have chat take the first turn. And I think, and you guys voted for me to take the first turn. I think that maybe that's just so the stream runs a little bit more smoothly. So yeah, I'm gonna be going first here. So I can pick any hero and I can rank them wherever I want, and I'll go over their kit a little bit as well. And then you guys can vote as a chat, or like as a chat team to bump or lower my ranking up or down like a tier, right? So if I put a hero, like let's say I put Spider-Man in the B tier, which would never happen, but if I put him in B tier, you guys can move him up to the A or bump him down to C. And once that happens, he's locked right there. So we cannot move any hero that's already been placed other than the most recently placed hero. Okay, I have the I didn't post the rules in the description. Sorry guys. I'll put this in the description of like the video after I post it. Okay, so I promised Mono Ludico that I'm not gonna jump the gun and rank Peter Parker first. So we got ranking our hero. I want to do something that's not controversial. I want to start off kind of smoothly for you guys, right? So let me see. Let me see. Is there any new chats here? Okay, so Matthew says off-topic questions. You are a personal trainer, right? You are a personal trainer, right? This is good after Christmas and everyone overeating. Yeah, I mean, business is good, like around this time, just because a lot of people like want to start training. But a lot of my current clients, they ate a lot in Christmas, so we're trying to just like bounce back from that. It's not the biggest deal though, just because they know that it's not about you overeat in Christmas, like you're done. Like it's about preparing for Christmas, right? So maybe like eating less, like skipping breakfast and lunch at Christmas and having that big Christmas dinner, or like eating a little bit less the day before, or like the days after, right? So like there's ways to mitigate that. So yeah, they know what they're doing. Some of them. Evo Mark, welcome to chat. I think this is your first time joining a live stream, right? Mark says Spider Woman. Okay, maybe whenever chat ranks a hero, you guys might be able to vote and see if you guys want to rank Spider Woman here. I'm not gonna deal with Spider. I want to go with something non-controversial. So I'm going to. I think we're gonna do SPDR. So Penny Parker Spider Suit. Let me share another screen here. Let's see. So we do stop sharing, and then we go share screen, and I have the penny cards pulled up right there. Okay. Cool. Oh, guys, let me make sure. Can you guys see that? Yeah. Okay. All right. So Penny Parker. All right. Where am I going to rank her? How fun do I think this hero is? I think this is not a controversial take. I think she's pretty darn fun. I think that she's a pretty cool hero. She's a build-out hero here, right? The biggest thing with her is she has a hand size of only 4 in Alter Ego and a hand size of 3 in hero form. But with her Alter Ego ability, you can exhaust the spider suit right here to draw 2 cards. Another really cool mechanic is whenever she flips like her Alter Ego side and her hero side over, the Alter Ego card flips to this card right here, the interface pilot. And then the spider suit is like up whenever she's in Alter Ego, and it flips over to this. So basically, when she's in Alter Ego, you have this card up and this card up. And when she flips over to hero form, she has this card up and this card up. So she has like 2 cards basically, right? But in the Alter Ego, you can exhaust this card to trigger maintenance. And then when you're in hero form, you can exhaust this card for your sync ratio, because this is an interface upgrade right here. It's interface, trait right there. So you can exhaust to generate a water resource from this card right here. So very interesting how she works, right? I think it's an amazing design, to be honest. You exhaust it to recover, but if you exhaust to recover, then this card is also exhaust right here and can't generate a resource in hero form. If you exhaust for this ability right here to draw 2 cards, well, your hero robot form will be exhausted whenever you flip up to hero form, right? So yeah, very, very interesting, unique design. One, like, I think a lot of people love this hero. You want to build out with her interface upgrades, right? That's kind of how she plays. She has a hand size of only 3, but actually feels pretty good once you're able to get interface upgrades in play because of sync ratio. You can exhaust any interface upgrade you control to generate that upgrades resource, right? So once you have like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4 interface upgrades in play. In addition to the one that she comes with, this one right here, she has 5 resource generators on the table. So hand size of 3, but you have 5 additional resources. So it's almost like a hand size of 8, almost, right? So yeah, that is crazy, crazy good with her. And then when she's built out, she's very good. To me, she's very similar to Iron Man. Let me see what chat's saying right here. Proofrock says, we have some controversial opinions about Web Wars. Do you guys? I don't know what you guys think as a community, so we'll see. Ritzy Rios says, I made it. Welcome, Ritzy Rios, to a live stream. This would be interesting. A major question for the ranks is entirely a solo perspective. Do they have to have multiple play styles or fit in multiple aspects? So this is not a solo list. This is just like how fun the hero is. It's solo and multiplayer. And they don't have to have multiple play styles or fit in multiple aspects. It's just going to be what we feel by the character, right? Do we have fun playing this hero? Or are they boring hero, right? Do we just hate playing them, right? So it's not about strength or anything like that. It's about how fun, how good their design is. Proofrock says, 3 of these heroes are in my top 5, so I'm nervous. Yeah, the Web Wars, I think a lot of people love the Web Wars, so it's going to be a fun one for sure. Monoluco says, Penny Parker is super fun, in my opinion. I think I'm so far like in agreement with you. Evo, Mark says, so good in all aspects. Yes, like one thing that I love about Penny Parker, she's good in every single aspect, right? She has aspect synergies. She has a pretty self-contained kit, but her kit's easy to die in, right? It doesn't matter which aspect you're playing with her in, you still have to build out. You need to get these interface upgrades, on the table, where these interface upgrades are here on the table, but they provide so much value because it's exhaust them to generate that resource or just exhaust them for their ability here, right? So here actually exhaust them to ready the spider suit. Super good value, right? These all have like they can buff her defense, buff her attack, or buff her thwart whenever she's using that basic activation. These I usually just use to generate a resource for with her hero ability. But yeah, really cool design. All Systems Go is a crazy card. 1 cost event. So early game, you can pick the second option here. Search your deck in this cut pot for any interface upgrade, add to your hand, so you can like get build out more quickly. Late game, you can ready each interface upgrade you control, guys. So that's 5 resource generators that you can ready back up. And one of the craziest ones is if you ready this up, you can ready up your spider suit again. So giving her extra readies with that as well is pretty bonkers. Yeah, she's a pretty crazy hero. Monoluco says SPR rocks. Totally agree. Matthew says, what set does she come in? She came in the Sinister Motives wave. So like whenever that expansion came out, the wave of heroes was where she came. I believe it was some champions. So I believe it was Ironheart and Nova, and then Spider-Ham and SPDR also came out in that wave with the Sinister Motive. So with Gwen and Miles in the big box expansion, these were the hero packs. Ritzy Ryu says vibes list, got it. Yeah, vibes list right here. Bug Catcher Clay, welcome to the chat. Love Spider in my top 5 for sure. Yeah, I think a lot of people love her in top 5, but I lean towards A because that opening hand first turn is so make or break. Very, very good point there. Willing to bump to S though, since her pack comes with repurpose. Oh yeah. We're not talking about her pack cards, like the cards in her protection precon, but just the hero kit itself. But yeah, repurpose is a game changer. Proofrock says SPDR is excited to play, and I really don't know why she goes crazy when she's built up. Yeah, totally agree with that. Ritzy Ryu says all systems go is a really neat design wise. It is useful at all stages of the game. Yes, exactly. I love that it's so good early game to dig for your interface upgrade, probably like the host spider, and it's good late game. It's like your finisher card late game. So very awesome. Without just being a direct thwart or attack. Yeah, totally agree. Very, very, very cool card. Okay. So I get the first turn here. So I'm going to rank SPDR. And I think that I entirely agree with Bug Catcher Clay. This is actually my thought for how I'm going to rank her. So he says, I'm going to reread this here. Love Spider in my top 5 for sure, but I lean towards A tier because that opening hand / first turn is so make or break. That's my thought. So I wish I could switch screens instead of clicking to stop share every single time. So let me share the tier list with you guys here. Okay, so for me, Penny Parker, she goes in the A tier. She's very, very fun. I think her design is amazing. I just think similar to Iron Man, it's very make or break that first turn. And having the hand size of 4 in Alter Ego and hand size of 3 in hero form, I think that for S2 hero, for me, they're already jumping off the gate, like pretty fun. And I think that it's fun to build her out, but I think that it's not she can be a little bit tough to do that, especially in true solo. And even in multiplayer, if the villain's giving you a lot of pressure, right? She kind of needs help from the other player on turn 1. Probably she wants to maybe stay in Alter Ego or like just like do nothing and just like build out a little bit. So she doesn't really help manage the threat as well, especially if she exhausts herself with her Alter Ego ability, right? So I think that she's still a very fun hero, but the early turns is kind of like the balance for her. And for me, she's very similar to Iron Man, but I think I like Iron Man more than SPDR the way that he builds out, just because his kit is less streamlined, right? For Iron Man, he just wants tech upgrades, right? I think that that's a fun and more fun thing to build around, like tech upgrades and energy resources, and even mental resources for like the rocket boots. Versus for Penny Parker, she's more streamlined in that you're always playing her cards. It's her own interface upgrades that builds her out. There's no like aspect card interface upgrades. So like that's still really good design. Like don't get me wrong, but it holds her from being like peak design for me. And for me, her design is not as well designed as Iron Man for that reason as well. So yeah, she's still like one of the best designs of Marvel Champions. I think a lot of people agree that she's amazing. I don't know if you guys want to waste your turn and bump her up though, because I think a lot of people might think that she is S tier. So let me start a poll here, and I'm gonna ask you guys if you guys want to bump this up, and then I'll catch up with chat. So start poll. Do you agree with my A tier ranking for Penny Parker? And yes, you keep it there. No, bump up to S. Or no, bump down to B. All right, let me start this poll here. All right. Let me catch up here on the chat. Where are we at, guys? Okay. Savior Monroe, welcome to chat, man. I've never played her. Okay, so you never played SPDR. My friends play her a lot, and he had tons of fun with her. Yeah, I can tell she's not only fun but powerful once built. Yeah. Like she has one of the strongest boards when built out. Similar to like Iron Man, right? Like these build heroes are so satisfying because when they're built out, they're one of the coolest boards, strongest boards, and the journey is very fun, right? That's like the thing. One of the cool things about Marvel Champions. Like for me, I have more fun playing her, and
like the mid game where I'm building her out. Like that's the funnest part for like the heroes like Iron Man and SPDR. Once I'm fully built out, it's still fun, but not as fun as like that mid game. In the early game, sometimes fun, sometimes not as fun, depending on like the cards that I get. But like the mid range where you're like strategizing like how to remove threat and like prioritizing which card to actually play and build out, that is like peak Marvel Champions. That card, that like part of the game is super fun. Proofox says first plus defense, then host fire, then really you go for the defense upgrade first. I think it's what I'm reading here. Host spider for me is always the top priority. I think for me the defense one is my least. Like that's the one I go for least, even in true solo. Like when I get that one first, I'm like, dang it. I want the thwarting one or the attacking one. I think the let me go back here. I'm not going to share it again because I don't want to like lag the stream. But I think the defense one has the least cost. But yeah, it's a one cost upgrade. Yeah, okay. So I can definitely see that because having the one cost upgrade, it's similar to the rocket boots, right? You get that regenerate for only one cost. I can definitely see why you would reach for that one first. I think, yeah, I don't know. I could totally see going for that one first. Ola, no, Mario Ludico says anguish is fun sometimes. Anguish, yeah, yeah. I mean, it is, it is. That's why I love SPDR and I love Iron Man as well because the anguish of the early game. I mean, it's still fun sometimes. Yeah. Olaf says agree with A tier for sure. Cool. I typically reach for Ironheart personally for build out hero. Yeah, Ironheart. I personally like SPDR more than Ironheart. I think that Ironheart is also fun as well. I think that she's even more kind of streamlined with the progress counters. So I like what SPDR has, and I like that like you're trying to play this interface upgrades kind of inside. I think I like playing cards to build out, like with Iron Man and SPDR, more than like counters. I think that's what I lean towards. Let me see. Glavin says, I put in an S tier personally, but I think A is totally fair. I just love her end game so much. Okay, let me see what chat's voting right here. So, okay, we have 71% of the votes of you guys agree with my evaluation to put Penny Parker in the S tier or in the A tier. Sorry, in the A tier. So you guys don't want to move her. 24% of you guys do want to bump her up to the S tier here. And then 6% of you guys want to skip chat's turn to bump her down to the B tier. But it seems like most people agree with me that she is an A tier level fun. So I think I'm going to let the poll run for a little bit longer. And then chat will actually get your first turn since I use my first turn to rank Penny here. Uh, let me see. I think what I like about her is, okay, Glavin says, I think what I really like about her is all her upgrades can be used to generate a resource, so you're never wasting them. Lots of heroes have upgrades that some turns just sit there and do nothing. Yeah. A lot of heroes have those upgrades that are very useless. But yeah, I love the duality, right? I think that presents a lot of like interesting decision making opportunities because for the host spider, that one you're probably just gonna use to get the ready. But if you really need to play this key card and you don't have any like threat to manage or you don't even need to do damage that turn, you can still exhaust it for a sync ratio to generate the resources. Same to the other ones, right? Since you probably sometimes you might be right because you get the ready with the host spider. But usually, if you just want to like thwart for one turn, you don't need to do damage. You can exhaust the attacking one to get a resource for that. Like I love the infinite possibilities with their kit. Right, no two games of spider is going to be the exact same. Some of them you'll need more board control. Some of them you'll need more resource like generation. Right, so very amazing design there. Mark Evo says of all the suit builders, SPDR above Iron Heart, above Iron Man. Ooh, okay, that is an interesting take. I think for me, yeah, I mean, I already said it, but I would have Iron Man first, and then SPDR, and then Iron Heart. But I think a lot of people agree with you, though. I think that this is more of the common sentiment in the community. The Iron Man is like the lowest version, like the first version, but also like the most, premature, like least developed version of those suit builders. But I just love how he grows with the card pool. Like I don't think Spider and Ironheart grow as much with the card pool as Iron Man. So that's kind of why I just love Iron Man's kit so much and always revisiting him with the more new card pool. Proofox says the defense one is cheap, easy to pay for, and can be used as a resource. Yeah. The one cost upgrade is crazy. Host Spire is 3 costs, so like yeah, helps crew and economy for her. Yeah. Evo says for fun for me. Yeah, gotcha. Monaluco says S to me because I love the heroes you have to build before play. Yeah, I also love those builder heroes. Rob, hello folks, welcome to the chat, Rob. I'm glad you're able to join us again for another live stream. Okay, So I think the poll, yeah, I've been running for 5 minutes. Chat agrees with me that we're going to leave Penny Parker here in the A tier here. So okay, you guys agree with me. Usually I find that chat usually is doesn't want to skip their turn most of the time. Okay, so it's over to y'all's turn to rank a hero. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a 4-question poll because there's not that many heroes, and I'm gonna ask you guys which hero you want to rank next. And I'm gonna put like, okay. How do we do this? Let's see. Which hero does chat want to rank next? And what I'll put is Peter or Miles. So you vote that one. We'll do another poll after that. We can do Spider Woman in her separate poll. We can do let's do Ghost Spider or Spider Ham, and then we'll do Silk in the last poll. Okay, so I'll start the poll, and then you guys can vote on which hero you guys want to rank next as chat. And if you guys vote for one of the options that have 2 answers, and that option wins, then what I'll do is I'll just have a separate poll here. I'm asking you guys which one of those heroes you guys want to rank. Jack Bell, welcome to chat. He says A seems about right. Yeah, I mean I don't know what places there, so I agree that sounds perfectly right. Curtis says Spider Ham. Ooh, okay. Let's see if Spider Ham wins this poll out here. So far the poll is pretty tied up with Ghost Spider and no, Silk is winning now. So that's interesting. Oh, I actually brought this out for this. I don't know if you guys play pickleball. Me and my wife have been obsessed, and I just got her a new paddle, a new pickleball paddle. This is a Ghost Spider pickleball paddle because for Christmas she got me a Spider-Man paddle, and then she really liked the paddle for Spider-Man. And then she was like, I really want one too. I like one with Ghost Spiders. I was like, okay. So we got it. She hasn't used it yet. It's still brand new, but we got her a Ghost Spider paddle for pickleball. So yeah, if you guys like pickleball, let me know down in the chat, and we could talk more about some pickleball too. But I don't want to distract you guys. So you guys aren't pickleball fans. Let me see. Rob says Silk for me. Let me see. Silk is tied up with the poll. So okay, I'm gonna say this. So right now we have Ghost Spider and Spider Ham at 36% of the votes, and Silk is also 36%. If it ends up tied, I'm gonna have chat rank Silk just because it's both Ghost Spider and Spider Ham going to the 36% of the votes, right? So I think that Silk will overall have more votes if it's that way. Let me see. Rob says Silk, arguably my favorite web word along with Arachnite. Yeah, I mean she has some pretty interesting. Sesame is messing with the paddle. I may have to Sesame. I hope she doesn't mess it up. Eva says, don't let Franklin get Spider Woman low where we can only move her up to C or something. Yeah, guys. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna rank her next. I think I gotta do Peter Parker next, right? Because I can't let you guys rank him low. Olaf says, Silk definitely. So still tied up right now. Okay, all right. Sorry, guys. Let me get Sesame. She is Sesame. Don't mess with the paddle. I was just showing chat. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. She's not gonna mess with it. Okay. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna have chat rank Silk because it's still tied right now. 35% of the votes here, and Silk is now in the lead. Okay, Silk is back in the lead. It's just flipping back and forth still. So yeah, it's been a decent amount of time here for the chat, but I think Silk. You guys want to rank Silk here, so that's pretty interesting. Let me okay. So let me first stop sharing their list here, and let me share the Silk page that I have pulled up. Okay, so we have Cindy Moon Silk right here. Let me go a little bit over her cards as well. I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll, and I'll talk a little bit about how Silk's kit works, and then I'm gonna start this poll right here. Let me know your reasoning for where you want to rank her. But how fun is Silk? And guys, let me know down in the chat if you guys hear Sesame messing with the cardboard box for the pickleball paddle. If that's bothering you guys, I'm gonna move the paddle somewhere else so you guys can't hear that sound because I don't know if it's catching on the camera. How fun is Silk to play? So I'll put S tier, A tier, B tier, and I put C or D. If that poll option wins, then I'll have a separate poll because I'm only allowed 4 options for these polls here. Okay, let's go over Silk's cards over here. Okay, So Silk Cindy Moon. Okay, she has that Peter Parker stat line. You know, 1 thwart, 2 attack, 3 defense. I think that makes sense because they're bit by the same radioactive spider. And you have Cindy Moon here. She's a reporter, and she has a really cool action rater. So the way that Silk's mechanics work, if you guys have not played her, she can have 4 like tuck cards under her identity, and her Silk Sense response here after you defeat a minion or defeat a side scheme or resolve a treachery, that you can tuck the card underneath Silk from the encounter card discard pile. So you can put that there underneath Silk, and whenever you do that. And then for Cindy Moon, as an action, you can discard a tuck card from her to draw 2 cards. Oh my goodness! So I got Sesame opened the box. How did you open the box? I mean, she has such the fine motor skills, guys. How did she open this? Let me close this up. Sorry, guys. Maybe I should have showed you guys. No one commented on the pickleball title, so maybe you guys didn't care about it. Okay, she can't open that anymore. All right. Yeah, this is really good for her comment, but she usually can't do this on turn 1 because you start off in Arch Eagle and you don't have any tuck cards. So kind of the bottleneck for playing Soak is gonna be tuck cards, right? Whenever you have 4 tuck cards going, she's like flowing pretty well. But until then, a lot of her stuff can kind of feel like limited because a lot of her cards worked off having tuck cards, right? So for example, like the Swing Silk Kick, do 7 damage, and you can discard a card tucked underneath Silk from say a counter set and do 2 additional damage and gain overkill. So the kicker is having a tuck card and discarding it. For her Thwart event here, you know, 1 cost or event to remove 2 that from a scheme, that's like not that great. But then you can choose a scheme and discard a tuck card to remove 3 threat from that chosen scheme. So 1 for 5 threat removal is bonkers, but it's tied under having the tuck card. One of the key cards in her kit is going to be Albert Moon. It's her 2-cost support. As an RCU action, you can exhaust them to choose one of these effects. If you choose the first one, you can tuck the top card of the counter deck straight up underneath a Cindy Moon. The other effect is heal 1 damage to Cindy Moon for each card tucked under her. So if you have 4 tuck cards, four tuck cards, man, I can't even say that, which is the max, then you're healing for 4, making him equivalent to AMA. However, it's not always going to be 4 because you have to constantly keep him tucked, and you want to discard for other abilities, and he's 2 costs. So using him just to replace AMA is not going to work out perfectly, but having anything close to replicate AMA is also just pretty good in itself. And also, again, getting able to get free tuck cards with the first action here is also very, very good. So let's see here. Says, I like the idea behind Silk, but haven't quite clicked with her. Glavin says, I really, Dixon, typo, sorry. I really didn't enjoy her on release, but I've been playing Heroic with her, and it's great. Yeah, I mean, I think that she scales very well in higher difficulties, in my opinion, just because she doesn't work, like she doesn't have like stats cards. She doesn't do stuff that's like limited to like more of the easier difficulties. Jack Bell says, Open Sesame. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's Sesame. Maybe I should have named her Open Sesame. Rob says, I'm biased for Silk, so part of the fun for me is who she is as a character and not so the mechanics. Totally get that. Mon Ludico says, I just started playing Silk 2 or 3 weeks ago. I find her fun, but it's too soon for me to decide how fun she is. You gotta decide right now. I'm just kidding. Maybe B tier. Evil says her obligation is a pain. Let me take a look at her obligation here for you guys. Let me see. So I'm on Hub Hero. Silk Sense Overload. So you give this to Cindy Moon player. It's not your ideal obligation. You can just get a free flip to Arch Eagle for, where it says you may flip to Arch Eagle. Those are like one of the best ones because either effect that you choose, you get the free flip, right? So this one you can't do that. It just stays in your game area until you can do this. So Force Interrupt. When a card would be tucked under your identity by a player card effect, you tuck it under here instead. So each time you will get a tuck card, you have Force Interrupt where you put it underneath this obligation. Then if there are 2 tuck cards here, you may discard this card, remove from the game instead if there are 3 or more tuck cards here. So yeah, this is kind of just like making it even more difficult for Silk to tuck cards. If you get this early game, guys, she's not having any tuck cards for like the ability here, right? And then for all the kickers, it's just kind of like neutered until you can get the obligation out of the way. So that is a very nasty obligation. Her NIMS is also quite annoying as well because it really like counters her tuck card mechanic, right? So where's this here? You get these cards right here. They surge. If you are random, then you tuck this card under your identity. You don't want this tuck card here because after a player card effect, this card from under identity, you take 2 damage. So very, very annoying nemesis in here. Whenever you place 1 district threat here for each card tucked under each identity, super annoying, guys. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think this is a cool design for Silk though, to have those her nemesis and her obligation counteract a lot of her tuck cards. So interesting design there, but hard to deal with for sure. Glavin says, Eidetic Memory is one of my favorite cards in the game. Super interesting design. Slightly prefer Falcon's Area Recon. That's interesting. I actually prefer, I'm obviously, maybe some bias. I prefer the Eidetic Memory. That's also one of my favorite cards for so well. Um, One cost upgrade. It stays undefeated forever. It's a super fast interrupt. Whenever you review a card from the same encounter set as a card tucked under your identity, you can exhaust that deck memory and swap those cards and review that card that was tucked underneath Silk. So if, like, for example, you have a standard set card like Caught Off Guard tucked underneath Silk, and then you review an advance that could be game ending, well, you can swap the advance with the Caught Off Guard. And one of my favorite things about this card is that it can be used in Alter Ego. It's an interrupt, not a hero interrupt, right? So that is one of the coolest things about this card. So really love that you can flip down to Alter Ego, constantly flip down. I mean, trigger this ability to draw 2 cards, but then also be able to flip down safely because you won't get hit with like an advance if you have a standard card. So let me see here. Aaron Curtis says, Silk does not click for me. I don't like the constant variable of tuck cards and how they are reliant on encounter sets. Ritzy Ryu says, Silk has what we in Arkham call the Tommy problem, a character who has a really fun gimmick but has a weakness that utterly shuts them down and sets them back. You have to play around or suffer. Yeah, I can kind of see that. I haven't played the Arkham before, but yeah, it sounds similar to that. Andrew, welcome to chat, says, agree with Iron Strike, saying that Silk does not click for me. Pruvrock says the pre-con was rough for me, but my last play was definitely better. Just not as cool as I imagined. And suggestions on a fun build would be appreciated. Ooh, okay. Let me let me give you one of my favorite builds here for Silk. I'm gonna just go really quick. I'm just typing in the chat. But yeah, I actually had so much fun. So you may not like this build because I had so much fun playing Silk's pre-con. Yeah, I don't know why. I loved her pre-con deck. You guys have seen, or I don't know if you guys seen it, but I posted my first game with her. I just like unpacked the box on camera and I sleeved it up and I just played her. And like, I thought it was so fun. I think that Ready for Fight is such a cool card with her. So I'm gonna send you. I was looking for a Ready for Fight deck, but maybe you don't want that if you don't like how she builds. So I'll send you a leadership deck list here instead. But yeah, that is in my opinion a pretty fun way to play Silk here. Okay, let me get on with the chat here. Oh man, you guys have very decisive votes here. Okay, so we have 18% of people believe that Silk is S tier level fun. 24% of you guys voted for A tier. 35% of you guys voted for B tier, and 24% voted combined for C and D. So chat thinks that Silk is a B tier level fun hero. So let me go ahead and stop sharing her cards, and we're gonna screen share the tier list back here. So chat decided to put Silk in the B tier. That's tough. Man, I don't know where I have Silk, to be honest. Whenever I first started playing her, she was definitely S tier for me. I think I agree with what a lot of people have said though, where she has so many of these upgrades to play. You can't play all of them, right? So all of her games, she's playing some of them in like a mix of like the ones that you want for that game and how your deck is constructed, right? Like for me personally, I would not have her any lower than A tier. I think this is the lowest I would have Silk. I'm not sure if I would have her in S though. So somewhere around there for me. I, I'm not gonna skip my turn. I'm gonna leave chat's ranking for Silk here. Yeah, I'm gonna respect where you guys put Silk. Yeah, I think B tier. I mean, she is a fun hero. If she was in C, I definitely have to skip my turn. But in B here, I think that that's fine. I'm gonna leave Silk here in a B tier where chat wanted to rank her. And the main reason is because Peter Parker Spider-Man is eyeing me over here. He wants to get ranked, guys. He wants to go on the tier list. So yeah, I'm not gonna skip my turn. So chat has used their turn to rank Silk in the B tier as a solid and a fun hero. So it's back over to my turn now. Glavin says, I think why I prefer Area Recon is it's a guarantee to cancel a card. Can't cancel in advance unless you have a standard card, which doesn't interact with her stat boosting upgrades. I like her with home technique. She thwarts better than Peter Parker. She does. She thwarts better than Peter Parker, I think you mean? No, not Penny Parker, right? Yeah. She does throw better than Peter Parker. I think that Peter Parker sometimes his throwing feels more smooth because he has more economy, right? Like the economy is on turn one that you can play allies already, and Silk you can't discard tech cards on turn one unless you're already using resources to play Albert Moon. But then at that point, you're already losing resources like on turn one to prioritize another card versus like allies for thwarting. But yeah, I mean, her innate thwarting, I think, is better than Peter Parker's. So I do agree with that. Proofrock says, I'm cool with B for Silk. I used to dislike Miss Marvel and Wasp, but once I found the right deck, I love them both. So I expect the same to happen with her. Yeah. I don't know that leadership deck's gonna be exactly for you. That deck's a little bit difficult to pilot. Like it's pretty you have to do a lot of scrying, I think, with Madam Web. So I wanted to find a protection deck list that I made. But if you did not like the precon, you may not like the protection deck. But I think I didn't publish it. So let me look for it here. It's a fun build where you put Energy Shield on the basic Peter Parker Spider-Man ally and you use basic Vote on him. So that was a lot of fun because I enjoyed just Vote Peter Parker to get Silk a bunch of readies. And then obviously, based on what Evo was saying with Silk, with her organic webbing, she gets +1 Thor and she can get a red from that. So okay, I found the deck list here. So this is my protection deck for Spider-Man that I never published, but I played some games with it on a channel. So I think I posted this link here on like playthroughs that I used with it, but I never published it. So that's probably one of my favorite builds with Silk as well. Okay, so all right, chat rank Silk in a B tier. Back over to my turn here. Okay, so I'm gonna rank Peter Parker Spider-Man. I respected Mono Ludico's wishes to be unbiased, and my non-biasm was to not rank him first. So I gave chat an opportunity to rank Peter Parker. You guys did not take the opportunity. So it's backward to my turn. I'm gonna take it right now. I don't want you guys to rank him. So we're gonna put Spider-Man. You guys already know in S tier. I think that he is peak design. I think that he is the best design character in the game and very fitting for him to represent Marvel Champions. I think that he represents the game Marvel Champions the best, right? He is like the hero where, you know, simple, right? 5 card hand size in hero form, 6 card hand size in alter ego. You have that just super simple research generation with scientists. Let me actually screen share the Spider-Man for you guys. Screen share course set. Okay. All right, let me see. Okay, so yeah, Ritzy Rio says super duper tier. Yeah, I need to make an extra tier just for Peter Parker because I agree, super duper tier is where he's at. Proofrock says thanks, I'll try it out. Yeah, hope you enjoy the list. Let me know, like in just any comment in any video, and I'll definitely see it if you enjoy these lists or not for Silk. But yeah, I'm Peter Parker, guys. Come on, like I just love these simple. Oh man, I have cat hair over me now. I love these simple designs here. So like super base hero here. Scientist, as a resource, you generate a mental resource limit once per round. And then hero form, Spire Sense, when a villain initiates an attack against you, you can draw a card. So you got the economy there. It's thematic. You have the scientist to be thematic here. You have Spire Sense to be thematic. One of the best lines in Marvel Champions is when the villain initiates an attack against you, and they're doing like at least like 6 damage. It's gonna be a hard hit. You trigger Spire Sense, you draw a card because they're initiating that attack, and you draw straight into your backflip. So you sensed it and you play the 0 cost event backflip, jump out of the way, avoid all that damage there. That's like one of the classic, like coolest designs. And even now, as a player that's been playing for like over 2 years, I think, right? Yeah. Each time the villain initiates an attack against me, I'm still going, please backflip, and I draw the card. And then like if it isn't a backflip, which it usually isn't, I feel sad. But if it is, I'm like, ho, it's a backflip. I mean, come on, guys. Isn't that one of the best feelings in the world? So I love that. Black Cat, identific ally. She's super fun as well. She's like your first Vote ally. That's like you can Vote without even healing her because she does not take consequent damage for attacking. Awesome. Aunt May, one of the strongest cards in Peter's kit. You exhaust her to heal 4 damage from Spider-Man. This is what really rounds out Peter Parker, in my opinion, just because it makes him feel like a tanky hero that can just take hits, and he always gets back up. And that's, to me, the ultimate theme for Peter Parker Spider-Man. Like, he's always getting back up after he gets punched in the face. He's very resilient, right? And Aunt May healing him makes him the tankiest hero in the game. With that, right? Combined with the backflips, the 3 defense, and anime, I mean, that's just amazing right there. And then you have the web shooters as a high tempo research generator, very thematic. When it runs out of web fluid, which Spider always seems to run out of web fluid. He always seems to do that. You can't generate resources anymore. So, I wish that this was permanent, but I love that it's not, just because I can emulate myself running out of web fluid. So that's awesome. Webbed up, just super, super duper webbing up someone, right? So like, they can't attack for 2 activations. Very, very cool flair on the card. So yeah, I mean, here for me, guys. What do you guys think about that? Let me start the poll here. So does chat want to skip their turn to move my ranking for Spider-Man? So we'll do yes, move down to A, or no, keep an S. Since I put an S here, you guys can only move him down to the A at worst. So let's start that poll and see what you guys say. I'm hoping you guys will move him down. We'll see what happens here. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let me catch up here with chat. Did I miss anything, guys? I apologize if I did. Um, okay, Ritzy Ryu says a character who is insanely strong, but that insane strength, Peter Parker, takes a bit of a puzzle solving and think. Yeah, I agree with like, he's a simple character, but he actually requires a little bit more nuance to master, right? Whenever I first started playing Peter Parker Spider-Man, I mean, this is kind of not accurate, but whenever I first started playing Spider-Man, I thought that Spider Sense triggered when any enemy initiated an attack against you. So when I faced Ultron, I just let the drones swarm up like 5 drone minions. They will all attack me, and I would draw 5 cards. So I cheated. I played that wrong. So he felt so powerful whenever I first started playing him. And then after I started playing this correctly, he got a little bit more tuned down. And then I figured out like there's more ways to play with him. There's like more ways to maneuver around his more simple kit. And you don't just want to play your high tempo here, like playing swing web kicks every single time you draw one. You want to you actually want to build out a little bit and learn how to maneuver around taking hits and managing with Aunt May healing me. That really unlocked like my ability to play Spyro and made him a lot more fun. So like being able to roll and get better at playing this game as I grew playing this hero, that is peak Marvel Champions, and that's why he's like so fun to me. Ritzy says here, victories are earned with Peter. Yeah, a great example of how a high power character should be. Yeah, yeah. I think some high power characters, like a lot of people talk about Doctor Strange. Like a lot of people hate Strange as well, just because they feel that he's too easy. You just like mash, you just play your invocation deck and you like win, right? But for Peter Parker, you have to actually like plan things out and maneuver around his kit. But once you do that, he matches the potential. In my opinion, he like overshoots the potential of even Doctor Strange. Like he's stronger than Doctor Strange in my opinion as a hero. Not even talking about like funness, but like in terms of strength. And I always go back to this. Villain Theory agrees, guys. So in his tier list of who's the strongest heroes, he has Peter Parker above Doctor Strange at all player counts, solo and multiplayer. So bring it up with Villain Theory, guys, if you guys disagree with me. Prooflock says Backflip is one of the best cards in the game. Spy Tracer is one of the worst cards in the game. Yeah, I don't think Spy Tracer is actually one of the worst cards. I think so. Whenever I play like pre-con builds with Peter Parker, the Spy Tracer is actually insane, and it's actually one of the most clutch cards for me. And guys, it's super thematic, right? Spider-Man throwing a Spy Tracer on a minion, and like he's tracking that minion down. When you defeat the minion, you can remove 3 there from a scheme. That's highly thematic. That's an awesome card with like some really cool flair. So I love that card a lot. Um, but I definitely agree. Like if you're like deck building with a maximized card pool, the Spy Tracer is a card that you're using a lot less often. But if you have a more limited card pool, that's a very fun card for Peter. Bug Catcher Clay says, "Is the Suda build still your favorite?" Ooh, the Suda. I mean, Suda build is not my favorite. I like the Let me wait. Am I sharing the right screen for you guys? Yeah, I think I am. Okay. I like the let me go pull it up for you guys. I like my Ready for a Fight build for Spider-Man. So that's webbed and ready. Let me see. Dang, I can't. It's always hard for me to maneuver around Marvel CDB here. So yeah, webbed and ready. It's a protection deck with Ready for a Fight. So for me, the funnest thing about Peter Parker Spider-Man is flipping down to Alter Ego and managing his hit points and tanking damage. So Ready for a Fight for me unlocks all of that, because not only is he able to do like protection shenanigans with like what doesn't kill me, but actually can I? Oh, I can click, guys. There's a button here. It says share this tab instead. I could have just done that the entire time. If you guys knew that, Let me know down in chat. But okay, so am I now sharing? Yeah. All right, guys, that's awesome. So I can share a different tab instead of exiting where I share a tab. Okay, so this is my favorite deck list here for Spider-Man here. So I just linked it in the chat for you guys. But I mean, what doesn't kill me, guys? The flare on this card with Peter Parker. Come on. You have like the iconic art here, 2 cost event, heal 2 here to right if you're a hero. Being able to heal, I think is my favorite thing with Spider-Man. So like symbiote suit, that's the ultimate flare. You get plus 10 hit points. But with this build here, you just tank so much damage and you flip down to alter ego. Right? The enemy does not add extra threat on you because you're gonna ready for a fight it and just flip back over. But Aunt May is healing you for 4, and Sinclair is healing you for another 3, right? Because she heals with your recovery stat. And if you have the symbiote suit in play, she's healing for another 4. So you're flipping down, healing for 8. If you are able to stay a whole turn down, you heal another 8. You're healing 16 life across 2 turns. Yeah, just so much healing. You just keep taking hits straight to the face, and you just never die because you're healing, right? So this is more like a tanky like take damage and heal damage back up build. That's just so fun to me. And I think that there's no other hero in the game that does this as well as Peter Parker. Just taking all the hits, actually losing life on it, and then healing it back up. And that's my favorite way to play March actually. So yeah, big fan. Okay, I'm in the poll here, guys. So here's why I end the poll because I'm biased. Okay, so the polls are running for a minute. Does chat want to skip their turn to move my rank for Spider-Man? I saw for like a few moments in the poll, it like went up to where more people voted to like move it down A tier. I ended it right here. It's been going on for over 3 minutes. So that's my promise for you guys to let the polls run for a little bit. It's tied up the poll. Yes, move down to A 50% or no, keep an S 50%. So I'm gonna cheat here a little bit. You guys did tie it up. So it's tied up. I'm the tiebreaker, of course. So the tiebreaker, I'm gonna keep it up in S tier, guys. So yeah, let me share back this. So sorry guys, feel a little bit shady for doing that, but you guys had a chance. If you guys wanted to, you guys could have totally moved them down to A, but you guys were conflicted. Half the chat voted to keep them in A, and half they wanted to move to S. So we're in default there, guys. So yeah, I apologize for that. Yeah, we're gonna end that there. Sorry, guys, I can't even speak. So I apologize for doing that to the chat, guys. But this is my tier list. So yeah, that's where you guys have it. So I gave you guys an opportunity. You guys did not take it to move Spider-Man down to A. So he is going to be ending here. Sorry, guys. I'm cracking myself up. So let me catch up here on chat real quick. Oh, boy. Okay. Let me see. Where are we here with chat? Curtis says, sorry, guys. I can't speak. Let me just calm down a little bit. That was crazy. Okay. Spider-Man, Curtis says Spider-Man's kit is thematically and mechanically on point. Yeah, I totally agree. I think that thematically he should just have a Thor setup too. Like with that, everything is perfect. But that's like the one thing that's missing from him thematically. But mechanically, he's on point, guys. Like mechanically, if you give him a Thor setup too, he's probably too good. Like to be honest, like for how good he is right now with the Thor setup 1, that's just bonkers. Mono Ludico says, I like Spider-Man a lot, but his kit has 4 useless cards, the Webbed Up and the Tracers. Yeah, so 2 copies of Webbed Up and 2 copies of Spider Tracers they're not useless though, right? They're pretty clutch at times. His lack of a medium damage event for minions is also hurting him A tier to me. I can see that perspective. I would highly implore you whenever you're playing Spider-Man to let me jump over to his kit because now I can just share tabs. I just learned at the stream. So like I highly implore you, like for mid-range minions, to just swing web kick them out of the way. Like whenever I have like the vulture, like the nemesis minion, he only has 4 hit points, right? But whenever he comes out, dude, I've swing web kicked him to the face so many times, and I'm overkilling 8 damage, which just gets wasted. But in that turn, I'm usually still able to play something else, right? Like I can play Spy Tracer on him and then swing web kick him, and it's still really good value, right? Spending my whole turn to remove 3 threat and do 4 damage to a minion, I think it's still a good use of a turn. So like, that's why I think Spider-Man's minion mid-range minion control is still actually pretty good because he has such high economy. He can easily play for these swing web kicks on minions that are weaker. And I definitely swing web kick and hit minions that are like 3 hit points as well. So this is not I played swing web kick to remove a stun for myself. Like that's the economy here for Spider-Man. So I definitely see what you're saying, but I think that he has the ability to mitigate that. Glavin says Peter is so thematically strong. I love him, but I do not care for some of his cards. Webbed Up and Inspire Tracer. Yeah, I think a lot of people are not a big fan of Webbed Up and Inspire Tracer. Guys, I highly implore you guys to check out some of my playthroughs with like a limited card pool. I think I recently did one with Spider-Man's Precon deck against the new Captain America Civil War hero on expert mode. Guys, for those builds, like Webbed Up and Spark Chasers are so clutch. Like they've saved me so many times. I've done like games against like Venom Goblin where like the Webbed Up is like saving my butt. Same with like Spark Chaser. So like when those cards knock like come off and like pop off, he is so fun and powerful. So I like there are definitely builds where those work really well. I think that I agree with you guys though with a full card pool, like those cards are used a lot less often. But sometimes, I mean, they're very fun and very cool. Rob says not a fan of the web inspectors. Yeah. Glavin says I think early on Doctor Strange was absurdly strong because the card pool was limited, but now with the expanded card pool, Spires above him. Ooh, I think I would agree with that. I think that with just the core set only and like up, like Dark Strange came in wave one. I think that Dark Strange was above Spider-Man. I also think that Captain Marvel is also strong as Spider-Man with the limited card pool. But that's one of the things why I love Spider-Man's design and why I think his design is peak because he's grown so much with the card pool. I want to hear that grows and doesn't get power crept out, right? Spider-Man is one of those heroes. He's still never been power crept, which is insane. And once they make a swing web kick a 3 cost for like 9 damage, I'm gonna be so upset, guys. Like that may be the day I quit Marvel Champions. Okay, I'm just kidding. I probably won't quit, but that would be a day where I like throw a fit because I'm like, why did you make a 3 cost for 9 damage? That's not right. It has to have a kicker for 9, not like just straight up 9, right? Okay, let me I think I'm behind on chat here, but let me let's see, share this tab, and I'm gonna have a poll asking you guys. So it's back over the chat's turn. You guys had a chance to skip your turn to move my ranking for Peter Parker. You guys did not choose to capitalize on that. So you guys can have another turn here to rank another one of these heroes. So I'm gonna make a poll asking which hero does chat want to rank next with your turn. So which hero should chat rank next? And I'll have 4 options here, so it's perfect. We can do the remaining 4 heroes: Spider-Woman, Miles, Gwen, and Ham. All right, guys, and while I have this poll running, I'll catch up here on chat for you guys. Okay, where are we at? Okay, Rob says, I love the protection ready for fight. Spider-Man, yeah, totally agree. Like, that's my favorite way to play Spider-Man. I think ready for fight just synergizes so well with him because you get the healing from Aunt May, and then you get the extra hand size and scientist. Then when the villain initiates an attack, you flip up to hero form, you get the card draw from Spider Sense. So, like, you're like doubling up and stacking on the resource that you get, which just feels unfair. That's just bonkers. And then you easily get to flip down to use Aunt May again the next turn. So yeah, so much value, guys. Mark Evo says, I'm surprised Red for Fight is a fave when you played suit up against the Horsemen. Yeah, so I think that for that build where so you guys don't know, Mark had a custom gameplay request. I'll actually put the link to that in the description of this video in case you guys are interested. But it was the crazy game. One of the craziest games I've ever played in my entire life. So huge shout outs to Mark. Thank you so much for that custom gameplay request. So basically, he had me face the 4 horsemen on heroic mode. And basically, I was able to use any 2 decks that I built before, but I'm not allowed to change the decks. I had to play Spider-Man and Cable. So this was a game here, and it is definitely the most difficult game I've ever played in my entire life, guys. It was crazy. So I had to use the strongest Spider-Man deck and strongest Cable deck, and I chose to play with the suit up Spider-Man deck instead of my Ready for Fight Spider-Man deck because the suit up deck is so much higher tempo. The suit up deck has in like a 40 card deck, it has 4 chances for me to pop up on turn 1 to grab Moongirl. Because if I can draw one of the 3 cards of suit up or Moongirl herself, and then when I'm mulligan, I can mulligan over 12 cards, right? Because you have a hand size of 6, so I can mulligan another 12 or another 6. So I'm going through 12 cards in my 40 card deck, digging for just a suit up or a Moongirl. So like there's 4 copies, 4 cards that I'm trying to hit. If I can hit that on turn 1, I start popping off on turn 1, And for that game, it was a long game, but I don't think I played that many turns because I really wanted to high tempo just burst down and defeat those villains. I think we actually ended up playing actually a lot more turns than I expected. But I was planning on taking them down before they took me down. I didn't want to play a sustained game on heroic mode, but I think I still had to though. So yeah, I ended up choosing the suit up deck for that. Even though I do think that the Ready for Fight build is stronger, I think the suit up build comes out the gate swinging a little bit harder. So I wanted that to pair with Cable, who's clearly getting me built up. So yeah, that's why even though I like the Ready for Fight build more, but I can like there's a lot of times where suit up is my preferred way to play Spider-Man. Andrew Nuss says LOL. Proof. Okay. I think this is sorry guys. I'm like super high on chat. I think this is whenever I was ranking Spider-Man, or I ended chat's votes because it was tied at 50-50 to put Spider-Man in to keep him in the S tier, to have chat not skip their turn because you guys were tied up there, so I was a tiebreaker. So Monica Ludico also shouting out some laughter there. sorry, man, I was biased there. Richie Ryu says the book and Watchers lover were here with this tomfoolery. Yeah. Sorry guys, a little bit of bias there. Hopefully the lords don't sue me for that. Jack Bell says there's a brilliant can-made Peter Parker where his webs can run out and he has to go to Alter Ego to top up web fluid. But his that would be so cool. Like a custom-made Peter Parker Spider-Man, right? But his web swing gives him aerial, really thematic. Oh yeah, that would be so cool. Like I think that they didn't want him to make his kit so complex, because that's definitely a lot more nuanced to how he wants to play. But yeah, like a custom Spider-Man where going to Alter Ego can replenish your web fluid. Guys, that's so cool. Like I would love to see that in actual Spider-Man. Trying to think, like maybe an aspect card that says like it's like a one cost like upgrade, like Alter Ego action, um, replenish your web fluid counters. Like that will work for Miles and for Peter because Miles also has the exact same web shooters in his kit. But it's a little bit more thematic here for Peter. But basically, when you're in Alter Ego, you can like exhaust that card and web shooters go back up to 3 counters. And what would be really cool is if your web shooters still hit 0 counters, they still get discarded, right? Because it comes in with uses. So you have to actually have like at least 1 counter on it to flip down to Alter Ego to use that ability. That would be super fun. That would be so cool, guys. Hopefully in the future, more games don't make something like that. That's a really cool custom card. Mark says, haha, yeah. Manafort says, Spider Ham, easy. Now, where's a bucket hat? Yeah. Manafort wants to see a bucket hat tier list for me. I don't know if I have enough of those for that. Okay. The polls are running here for a minute. So we have Spider Woman is who you guys want to rank next. 47% of chatters voted to rank Spider Woman. 0% Miles here. You guys don't want to rank Miles. 27% for Gwen and 27% for Ham. So let's end the poll here. And I'm going to ask chats now. So we're doing our poll. Where does chat want to rank Spider Woman? Oh man, let's see what you guys say. I don't want to rank her, so I'm glad you guys rank her. We'll do S, A, B, and then C or D. So you guys vote for C or D, then we'll have another poll asking you guys to clarify. But I don't think that will happen. I think she's pretty beloved. She's like one of the fan favorites in the community, right? Okay, so let's see here. Jack Bell says family. Yeah, I got you. Raw version says Spider Gwen for me for who to rank next. Sorry guys, you guys voted for Spider Woman. Proof Rock says it's almost 1:30. Dang, where are you? I need to get some sleep before you break my heart. I'll make Aaron comments of you if you diss my Spider ladies. Proof Rock, have a good night, man. Hope you get a good rest. Thank you for joining us for the chat here. And yeah, you'll see this video tomorrow. It'll be up, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what me and the chatters say about Spider Woman and the other Spider ladies. Mono Ludico says, on paper, Spider Woman checks all my boxes, but her playstyle just doesn't click with me, or I just don't know how to build properly a good deck for her. Who knows? C or D to me. Yeah, man, I identify with what you said here more than you know, dude. I totally feel that. That's how I feel too. So, Terax, welcome to the chat. It says she's better than Peter, so she is S. Is that how this tier list works? If she's better than Peter, she's S. Yeah, I don't know. Mark says Spider-Woman is not the strongest web warrior at all, but no hero is more fun to deck build for. Peak design in that regard. Yeah, let me hop over to our cards here for you guys. I should have done it earlier. I apologize for that. Okay, so let me make sure that's showing for you guys. Yep. Okay, so all right, Spider-Woman, guys. Okay. Controversial hero for me, not for most people. So one of the most beloved heroes in the game, Marvel Champions. She's an amazing deck building ability, which I do love this ability here. It's called Double Agent. You choose two aspects instead of one during deck building, and you must include an equal number of cards from those aspects in your deck. Okay, that's not a big restriction at all to include an equal number of cards because they're aspect cards, so you include more or less of like whatever, right? So it's not that big of a deal. It is a slight restriction, but not like Adam Warlock where you can include multiple copies. So I agree that this is like one of the best deck building abilities that you can have. She has an amazing ability. But for me personally, her kit is so restrictive and tuned down because of this ability that she feels more restrictive than she does like free flowing, right? Like even though she has this ability, which is technically a more free flowing ability, I don't feel the same flexibility with her as I do with like Spider-Man, for example. I feel like super flexible playing as Spider-Man and not flexible playing as Spider-Woman. And the main reason for that is going to be finesse here. It's her resource generator, 2 cost upgrade. Resource exhaust finesse to generate a water resource, but only for an aspect card. I want to know that Spider-Woman has aspect cards in her identified kit, right? So, like for example, Venom Blast here, it's a part of her actual kit, right? It says Spider-Woman 5 out of 15. But this is also classified as an aggression card. It says right here, this card is both a Spider-Woman card and aggression card. So if you have any card that you want to use aggression cards with, this counts as that while also doubling up as a Spider-Woman card. So finesse can generate a wild resource for Venom Blast. Well, this card is not good at all anyways, right? It's 2 cost for 5 damage, which is it, which is like not amazing. Some of the other cards are very good, like Pheromones is pretty good. Immunity is very good. But these are like her aspect cards. But a card that I often want to use is Self-Propelled Glide, 1 cost event, cure action, ready up Spider-Woman, she gains aerial until the end round. Well, unfortunately, Finesse cannot generate that single wall resource for this 1 cost event here. It can also not generate a wall or for Captain Marvel or for another Finesse. So like if you guys have ever used Helicarrier to generate or to reduce the cost of like a Quinn carrier, use Mansion to draw your card to help pay for like a Helicarrier, that will never work for Finesse because these are not aspect cards. So basically, the turn that I play a Finesse, I'm often not able to use it to generate a resource, which just feels super bad. And I'm not able to use Finesse every single turn that I am that I have on a table. And for me, if I'm not using every single turn, I'm losing so much value out of that resource generator, which the whole point of it is to be able to use it every single turn to like have bigger turns. So yeah, to me, I really despise that. And then for superhuman agility here, this is a pretty fun ability. When you play an aspect card, she gets +1 Thor, +1 attack, and +1 defense until the end of the round. So you can build her stats up like crazy, which is awesome. But her event here to ready her back up, you can't use the finesse to generate that for. So it's like I played some builds where people have sent me like where she plays a bunch of 0 cost aspect cards, which is really cool and fun. But then those aspect cards give you like less value as well because they're like less board impact. See, I don't know. It's definitely a mix for me. I think that she can be a fun hero to play. I think that being able to intertwine 2 aspects is the best part of her kit. I think most people would agree with that, right? Like where people like her is not the actual kit; it's the fact that you can have 2 aspects when you're deck building with her. But my question to you is: imagine any other hero with that ability, right? Like a bare bones blank hero that says you may deck build with 2 aspects. Like, would that hero be as fun as Spider-Man for you guys? Like, that's my take on that. Let's see. Evo says, I understand that Franklin does not like her due to discouraging basic cards. Yeah, and also basic cards, which is one of the strongest, card types in the game, right? Like Avengers Mansion, Nick Fury. Those cards don't work with her kit. Like they don't buff her. Her hero ability can't trade off of them, and finesse can't trade off them. And the biggest thing with that is that she is the worst web warrior to make her into a web warrior, right? So like with the Warrior Great Web, you can attach to a character that has spider and title to make them a web warrior, right? you almost never want to make her into a web warrior because the strongest web warrior cards are basic web warrior cards like the Web of Life of Destiny. You have Ghost Spire, you have Madam Web now, right? So like you have the Peter Parker Spider-Man ally that can like ready you up. So like she hates all those cards. And if you want to play her that way, you have to play a very weak scenario with a lot of breathing room to get her built out with the Web Warrior cards. So it just goes against what she wants to do. So yeah, I mean it's just not my favorite thing. Um let's see. Where am I at with chat? Terax says, is inconspicuous better than Spy Tracers? Yeah, it's better than Spy Tracers. I think Spy Tracers is more fun to use though. I've never like I think that there's nothing wrong with this card. I think that this is a fine card. One cost story event to remove 3 threat from amongst schemes in play. Very cool. Good versatility. It's never been like a clutch card that's like saved me, but Spy Tracers have been. So like I don't know. I feel like the Spy Tracers are more fun to knock out the minion. And I love playing Spy Tracers in Alter Ego. You can still attach it to the minion while you're in Alter Ego with Scientists. And that feels very thematic. And you can have your ally take it out, or you take out the minion next turn, and you can remove that 3 threat. You have that like on-demand save threat removal for like a future turn if you want to. Ritzy Ryu says, I'm just saying, finesse is amazing in pool, as you can use it each turn to fund tic-tac-toe and blackout. Protection pool Spiral Woman has been my pet project. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah. So actually, my favorite way to play Spiral Woman, I agree, is actually in the pool aspect. Like that's, in my opinion, the best way to play her because of the resource sinks of tic-tac-toe, of blackout, all those shenanigans. So I think that she's best in pool because this can generate resource for that. And any build where this generates resources for, like on demand is fun. So like I think Evil had me play a build with the Husk ally. It's a Justice ally. That's so much fun too because you can use it for not just generating a raw resource for paying for the cost of an aspect card, but also for an aspect card's ability. I think that is a lot of fun with Spider-Man. So I think that she shines in pool. I personally like her in pool leadership, but pool protection is definitely super fun as well. Let's see. Evo says if you deck it properly with Husk and others, you can use finesse every round. Yeah, I agree, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah. Shouts to your Husk build. But the thing is, that's saying you have to deck build her with specific cards in mind, right? Not just in specific aspects, right? But with cards in mind, right? If you play in the pool aspect, you're not including tic tac toe and blackout and resource sinks, like stick to Iternus as well. It's also a great card with her because you can use finesse to generate the resource for that, the physical that's needed. So like, but thing is like she works with specific cards, and if you want to do a web warrior build, that kind of like you can't, right? Like she doesn't do well with web warriors. So if you wanted to maybe do like a I don't know, maybe a My Avengers build would be a lot better with her because you use a bunch of leadership cards instead. But like I don't know, it's just I don't know. Like I played her in the shield build as well. I think that you have to have specific things in mind, and she's not like the best in the shield build either. Like with that shield team up card, the one with like Agent Coulson and like all those shoe people. Glavin says, I never really struggled to find finesse targets. Do wish it applied to the Glide though. I mean, I think it's definitely different for everybody. But I just feel like the Glide should have worked with it as an event. I don't understand why the Glide is not an aspect card. I could totally see this as an aspect card, and that's a huge change for me if this was an aspect card as well that you can dig for with your apartment. Yeah. Another thing is pheromones. Like I hate cards like this because it's such a win more type of card, right? If you're facing a scenario that is susceptible to stun and confused, like a villain that can easily be stun and confused, this card like stomps and you just are chilling for like 2 turns, right? For 2 activations. So like for me, statuses are kind of my least favorite way to play the game because you're stopping the villain from what they want to do, right? So you're not interacting with the villain as much because they're not able to activate, right? But then against the more difficult scenarios, like if a villain has like access to star or steady, pheromones becomes way less good. Against steady, it's still useful, but you have to get the other status off. So you play one, it does nothing. Because you need 2 status cards, right? If you're playing against Star, this card is just trash, right? Like this card is a dead card against Stalwart. So it's like I hate cards that don't scale like that because also inflates the hero, right? Because if people only play on standard and they only play like weaker scenarios, they're like Spar Woman is so powerful, she's the best hero in the game because pheromones, like I play this card, I just win the game. And then like you're winning more each time you play pheromones. It's not as much of a challenge. And then for if you are facing a difficult scenario, you're like, okay, well, she's not that good because she doesn't have as much board pressure and economy as a lot of other heroes. And pheromones, I mean, this card's like it's not doing much, right? So I don't like heroes that have that kind of disparity there. Let me see, where am I at with chat? Ritsu says Huss great idea. Yeah. Huss is a very very fun card with Spider Woman. Kamiko, welcome to chat. Says energy shield plus ally with 2 constant damage also keeps your finesse busy. Yeah. Energy shield is also a great resource sink here for the finesse. I totally agree with that. Ritsu says yet another great idea and relevant for protection plus pull. Yeah, totally agree. That's awesome. Let me see. Jen's Wonder says, I like Spider Woman. The aerial attack on the glide is a bit weird though. Wish there was at least a band-aid card to use it properly, but that is a very minor complaint. Yeah, it's a little bit weird. It's not it's weird because there's some games where I never played this card because I just can't I can't get the resources to play the aspect cards and I have enough economy to also afford this. And there's some games where I'm trying to search for this card a lot and play a lot. So it's a little bit weird how this card works. It's like it's a card that I don't know. It's a card that sometimes is very good, sometimes is not that good, right? You need to really trigger her abilities to get her stats up higher to get full value out of the self-propel glide. Okay, I think I've been running this. Yeah, it's been 12 minutes for the poll. So I'm gonna end the poll here. And okay, it's a pretty tied up poll. We had 35% of chat voted for her to be an A tier. So I'm gonna put in A tier, but 30% voted S tier, 30% voted B tier, and 5% voted C or D. So A tier wanted there with a decent amount in S and B. So very divided there. I was a little bit surprised, I think, to see that. I would have thought share this tab instead. So you guys put her in the A tier. Let me run another poll asking where you want her in A tier. I would have thought that the community has her A or S only. Like I think I would put the votes like if I were to guess, I would have like 50% of you guys vote S, 50% of you guys vote for A. So I'm a little surprised to see like 30% of 30 you guys voted for her to be in B, and then like we had like maybe 1 or 2 votes in the C or D tier here. So let me ask you guys. The 5% is me, Mario Ludico. It's funny. Do you want Spider Woman in front of SPDR? So we'll do yes and no here. Yes, I'm gonna run this poll and see where you guys. I ran that poll a little bit long too. Let me catch up here on chat. Bugcatcher Clay says, I like playing her with Quick Quip and Thrift. Oh yeah, that's really cool. But the problem is, like, do you make her Web Warrior? And how many basic Web Warrior cards are you including with those builds, right? Monological says, wow, I never thought you would agree to some extent with me. Too many anti-synergistic things with her. Yeah, I totally agree. There's a lot of anti-synergy in her kit with itself, even though she has some cool synergies with like specific cards in specific aspects. I just need more like synergy. Terax says stick to Ithinus is amazing for her. Yeah, I totally agree. He says no shoot is not great for her. I agree with that as well. I have an amazingly fun leadership protection Spider Woman deck that makes her a web warrior and then uses Scarred Spider with an energy sheet to protect everyone. That sounds like a fun build for sure. Death Focus lets you play self-propel glide without feeling bad. Yeah, the thing is like only one though, right? And I think that on turns that you're not playing self-propel glide and you're playing other aspect cards that aren't superpowers, then Death Focus becomes a dead card in that situation. So like I'm always gonna have a bad feeling somewhere. That's just kind of the way that I play. I always have like a bad feeling somewhere with resource generators that don't generate a permanent resource. So Death Focus for me is not one of my favorite cards because of that same reason there. Monalugo says if 5% is me, yeah, I saw that earlier. Okay, so the poll is running here. We have Terex says 9 superpowers in her deck. Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is with let me jump back over to her cards here. So what I'm trying to say is like with any hero, you're not always going to draw one of her cards. Like multiple turns in a game, maybe like up to like 5 turns in a game where you're not drawing any of her cards. And there's no aspect card superpowers, right? So like even with Spyro and Peter Parker, like who I love a lot, I'm not gonna say I play his cards every single turn. I think it's very few heroes like you're able to play all of their cards every single turn, right? So I think in any turn that where you're not doing that, I mean, yeah, she has a lot of superpowers, but in any turn that you're not doing that, you're not really going to get the value from Death Focus, and I don't want Death Focus to not get value if I'm playing it at all. I want more targets for it. Um, it's just my personal feeling on that. Terrax says, if you use Death Focus 3 times, the entire game is the same value as the web shooters. Yes, but the web shooters may give me that clutch resource flexibility that I need on a specific turn, right? Like if I play a web shooter this turn, it may help me immediately next turn afford a mansion and to do another thing, right? The web shooters, if I played on this turn, may help me be able to afford a swing web kick, like 2 swing web kicks on the next turn, for example. If I need to like play 2 to like, knock out the villain, like end the game, for example, right? So like it's just more versatility for like it's always going to be there for either a swing web kick, an identity card, an aspect card, or a basic card like Nick Fear or the Mansion, right? I just like having more flexibility in my research generators. Just me personally, right? That's just my personal. Okay, so it's been running for over 3 minutes. 73% of you guys voted no to keep Spy Woman here behind SPDR. So that's chat's turn there. Okay, so that's where you guys put Spy Woman. Okay, so now it's on my turn, and I can either skip my turn to move Spy Woman up or down 1, or to put one of these heroes here. Oh man, you guys know I want to move her down. But like, I don't want to waste a turn to do that. So like, okay, let me say where I will put her naturally. If it were up to me, I would put Spy Woman in the C tier. She is not a hero that I'm a big fan of. I've had fun with her. She's sometimes fun in specific builds, particularly with the pool aspect, right? I think pool aspect builds are the way to go with her. But even with pool aspect builds, I'm purposely playing easier scenarios. Like I'm purposely facing like Spider Woman, the villain, or I'm playing like I remember I played a pool aspect game against a Taskmaster. That was very fun because he gave me the breathing room to like do what I want to do and like Voltron the allies or like whatever I want to do, right? So it's tough. I think I'm gonna respect chat's wishes. And Mahaluko says right now, move her down, please. I want to respect chat's wishes and keep her in the A tier. But I want to move her down because that's just not how I personally feel. If you guys put her in S, I would definitely bump her down. But you know what? I think I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna respect chat's wishes, and I'm gonna leave her in the A tier. Sorry, Monaludico. I agree with you, but I think that I have to respect chat's wishes here. Welcome to our answer chat. He says that Spider Woman has fun combos, but she's not strong. Yeah. So I mean, since this is a fun tier list, I think it's fine to put her in the A tier. I agree that she's not strong. I think a lot of people disagree with that. But I agree that she's not a very strong hero. But since this is just a fun tier list, and I know a lot of the community likes her, I want this tier to kind of be like a collaborative effort between me and chat, not just like my personal opinion. I'm gonna leave Spider Woman here in the A tier. I hope I don't regret that, but yeah, I'm gonna put her here in the A tier. Okay, let's see what chat said. Kamiko says sure, but the tier list is for fun, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Mama Luco says, haha, I knew this was coming. For me to leave her in the A tier. Okay, so it's back over to my turn here. All right, so we have 3 heroes left. We have Miles, Gwen, and Peter Porker. Who am I going to rank next? Oh boy. Which one do I want to rank? I'm going to rank Ghost Spider. I'm going to rank Gwen Stacy here. So let's jump over to her cards here, Sinister Motives. Okay. So Gwen. She has that classic Spider-Man stat line, right? 3 recovery, 10 hit points, and you got 1 Thor, 2 attack, 3 defense. I love that stat line because it's the same as Peter Parker. Disney reflexes as a response after you resolve an interrupt or responsibility on an event, ready at Ghost Spider. So she's a very streamlined hero. You need to include a bunch of cards with interrupts or responses on events, right? So she's an event-based hero, and you need to include that in her deck. And the way that she works is very, very mechanically, right? She wants to keep on flowing with those Disney reflexes and with those interrupts and responses and playing those events every single turn. If you're playing turns with her where you're not doing that, it feels bad. And I've done this all the time because I always try to do that, where I like waste the whole turn to play in the Avengers Mansion. Well, I'm not getting a lot of value out of her from that turn, even though I want to get set up a little bit. So you can almost say that she doesn't want to play the mansion and helicarrier, and she doesn't want to get built out. And it almost anti-synergizes with the web bracelets here because you really want this card to draw cards each time you play interrupt or response on an event. But to afford playing this, you may not be able to afford playing that event, right? So if you only have the web bracelet in your hand and you only have like a phantom flip in your hand and you don't have any doubles, well, you can't play both. So like I've often given up playing like the event on a turn to get these web bracelets out because I need to get set up so I can like for future turns be able to do more stuff. So yeah, probably my favorite thing about her is the ticket to the multiverse. This card is crazy, crazy cool. Is it the first double resource that has an ability? I think Hulkling copied this card, right? This is like the original like Hulkling like shapeshift upgrade type of card. So the first thing is it's a double resource, double wilds, which is insane. So you can just use it to generate doubles for anything. The second thing is it's a 3-cost upgrade. So you can actually play this card here as an action. So it just comes on a table and on demand, you can use it whenever you want. You can remove this card from the game to discard your hand, shove your discard pile into your deck, draw back up to your hand size, and ready every single Ghost Spider card you control, including the web bracelets, including George Stacy. So very thematic here. Take it to the multiverse, getting a refresh on your turn. That is such a fun card. Unfortunately, you do have to remove from the game, so it's done after you do it. But super duper fun to play, and I love using it as a double, especially early game, because with her here, you can choose to shuffle the Ticket of the Multiverse from discard pile back into your deck and get double resource back into your deck. So yeah, that's fun there. Let me see what chat has to say about her. Evo says, my work here is done. Have to run, but this was fun. Hope I can catch a future stream. So just came in here to rank Spiral up to the A tier. Yeah, see you later, Evo. Hope you have a good rest of your day and a good work week. Tarek says she's better than Peter, so she's S also. I think you said that earlier. Chad voted for her to be an A, so I can't do anything about that. I could have moved her down, but I chose not to. So Chad has her an A. Nartan says rush, aggression, rush, Gwen, 10-minute games. Yeah, that's my favorite way to play Ghostfire in aggression. Mon Ludico says, if this list is about fun, to me, Gwen is S tier. Her reactions change the whole feeling of the game to me. Also, she's very thematically accurate. I agree with that. Like, she feels like Gwen, like, Disney reflexes, jumping, feeling agile, being ready up a lot. And she when she gets in a groove, she's very fun. Glavin says, I wish Ticket refreshed Disney Reflex. Oh, that would be fair, right? It should refresh the Disney Reflex, but it doesn't. But it's such an awesome card. I usually don't care. Yeah, I mean, definitely the goated card in her kit. The other goated card would be George Stacy, 1-cost support. As an action, exhaust them to attach an event from your hand face down here, and you can play the events as if you're in your hand. The only problem is their stupid obligation, which like messes up like deck builds revolving with George Stacy, because this card can never get removed from the game. Also, action when it comes in play, you give it to Gwen Stacy, you grab George Stacy wherever he is and set him aside, attached to his obligation. As the RCU action, you can exhaust Gwen and remove this obligation. Or sorry, it can get removed from the game, but you can't remove it before it messes up your play and grabs George. I mean, but yeah, RCU action, you can exhaust Gwen to remove the obligation from the game and add George Stacy to your hand. So after you get this popped off, then George Stacy goes crazy. But until then, your word father is a freaking liability, guys. Like this guy, every time I play him and I attach events to him, I'm like worried for the obligation because if it grabs those events that I'm saving for a particular turn, I'm like entirely screwed. But if the obligation did not grab him, which is thematic, I guess, then like her kill would be so much more smooth to prioritize playing George Stacy and having those tuck events to improve her economy as well. So yeah, that's a big downer for me. Let me go back to the so yeah, where I rank Gwen, I think that when I first played Marsham, she was one of my first heroes that I played. So I would probably put her in like B or A. There was some point where I dropped her down to C because she just felt so streamlined. But I think nowadays I have her back in B. So I'm putting in a B tier here. Behind Silk for sure though. Gwen is she is a hero that's very fun if she gets to do what she wants to do. So if I'm able to trigger the Disney Reflex every single turn, if I'm able to activate Thor and attack every single turn and get in the groove of playing those events, then she's very fun. If I get stunned or confused, she's not fun at all. She's enjoyed playing. Like stuns and confused are the worst thing for or getting exhausted. I hate getting exhausted with Gwen as well. Like nasty scenarios like Loki can like exhaust you, stun and confuse you. The Loki from Mad Time Shadow. Yeah, she's not fun to get to play against that scenario. But yeah, I mean, to me, it's I always want to put her in sometimes fun. That's where I used to have her. Am I just gonna put her here? It stinks because I think that's how I feel about her. To be honest, I think I'd be honest because I like the character a lot. I think that she's pretty thematic as well, but just being able to be countered so easily by what the villains do, right? For me, fun is being able to like pick up any deck for any hero, and I'm like, okay, I want to play this deck and I want to have a good time. And for me, she's not that. For me, it's like after I build a deck and whatever, I'm like looking at a scenario, I'm like, okay, I don't want to play this scenario, I don't want to play this one, I don't want to play this one. She like eliminates scenarios that I want to play. And for me, I think I have to put in the C tier. I think you guys may disagree with that, but I think that just in my heart of hearts, I have liked her more recently, but I think she's still not. I mean, I can't put her in the same tier as Silk, and I have other heroes that are I think are beach level fun. She's just not there for me. Yeah. All right. Let me ask you guys what you guys think about that. So, um, how fun is Gwen for you? Let me. Wait, you guys have to move my ranking, right? Do you want to move my ranking for Gwen? It's a better question. So we'll have no, keep in C, yes, move up to B, or yes, move down to D. All right, let me start that poll and then I'll catch up here on chat. Oops, not start the poll yet. There we go. All right, let me take some water here. I'm running out of water, guys. I don't know if I have a chance to go grab another bottle. Okay, let me catch up here. Okay, Monica Ludico says, if this list is about fun, Gwen is S. Yeah, I think I read this one. Her reactions change the whole feel in the game. She's also very thematic. Yeah, I totally agree. I read some of these chats here. Glavin says she was in my top 5 for a very long time, but she dropped a bit recently, but she's probably hovering around 7 for me, so top 7 for you. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that, yeah, and whenever she's going, she's a lot. I just wish like if she had like a printed steady, I don't think she would be overpowered. I think she would be a lot more fun. I think that's a way to improve her kit. To just give her steady like printed on her card. That'd be really cool. Or maybe like give the George Stacy like the George Stacy support also like gives her steady or something like that. That would be pretty interesting. Tarek says she was a hero that I used to beat Expert Rhino with the Infinity Gauntlet, Flight, Super Strength, and Telepathy. Okay, I mean, yeah, that's. I mean, yeah, I think that she can have the power there. But I don't. I think I feel like that's super tough with her. I wouldn't. I don't think I could defeat that scenario with her because like the Infinity Gauntlet, if it stuns or confuses her, she's kind of like neutered for that turn, and you can never flip down with her, right? Because she doesn't have the threat mitigation for Rhino. And Rhino, if you flip down one time, he can scheme you out on any turn that you flip down with Gwen, right? That's just kind of scary. Um, uh, Kamiko says to me, she has certain stains on the experience of playing with her. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel too. George Stacy is always a risk until your obligation is removed. Yeah, exactly, right? Once the obligation is gone, like George Stacy pops off and it's one of my favorite cards and it's so much fun. But like she's one of the heroes that like the obligation is thematic, but it just sucks so bad, dude. Like I just wish like just a small change in her kit would just make her so much more fun for me. Yeah, so it feels bad, but yeah, I just need a little bit more of a difference with like some of the cards in her kit. Um playing I don't know why she was tuned down like just a little bit too much for me. Playing the ticket is a point of no return for that card, which makes it a bit of an analysis paralysis decision, and her lows feel really low. Yeah, especially when stats. Yeah. If she's hit with stats cards effects, her lows feel very very low. But when she's flowing, her highs are high. So like she's got high highs, low lows. That's why she's sometimes fun for me. Glavin says, I feel like I have to keep the Peter ally on board all the times in case she gets exhausted. Yeah, like that ally is like all include for her. If you're playing a multiplayer game with other people who want that ally to play, or you're playing with another Peter Parker, like I'm like, I don't want to play Gwen anymore, guys. Like, like that ally is like one of the key cards in my deck. You want to play as Peter Parker? I'm not playing Gwen. People couldn't. Welcome to chat. I love her, but I agree she's underpowered. Yeah, this isn't a power tier list, by the way. This is a fun tier list, so don't let that sway your vote. Uh, Kamiko says she's sometimes very fun, good when she flows, soul breaking when she gets tripped up. Exactly, yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Yeah, yeah, good when she flows, soul breaking. It's soul breaking when she gets tripped up. I think that man, dude, like there's a short tangent here, but my wife actually played a decent amount of Marvel games with me whenever I first started playing. And one of the last games that I played with her was a 3-player game with one of our other friends. And my wife played as Ghost Spider because she loves Ghost Spider. And that game, we played against Expert Hella. And, Expert Hella is not like the toughest thing in the world, but she kept on exhausting. And we played the recommended mods and putting stuff on Gwen where she has to flip down to Alter Ego and exhaust to remove or something like that, right? So, like, yeah, my wife had a terrible, terrible time. She hated that game. She was like, "What the heck? This sucked." It was like over 2 hours long, and she was doing nothing the entire game because she kept getting exhausted. And I just felt so bad. Like I wish that I was getting those cards to get exhausted. Also, my wife does not like to flip down to Alter Ego, so I think Gwen's a good hero for her too because Gwen's Alter Ego doesn't have as much of an impact as like other Alter Egos. So she's just staying up in hero form to trigger her ability Disney reflexes, and she just could not be up in hero form. She had to flip down almost every single turn. So like I think that was one of the things that really turned my wife off of Marvel Champions as well. Feels bad. I should have never had us play Hella. I think like they wanted to play Hella as well, right? Like, oh Hella, she sounds fun. I should have knew better. Maybe like change the module or something like that. But yeah, the Hella with recommended modules with attachments that force you to flip down, not fun, guys. Yeah. And oh man, this one the one side scheme was the worst. What is it? It's that Frost Giant side scheme. A natural storm. Oh, guys, that card like destroyed like all fun that my wife wanted to have with Ghost Spider. Heroes and allies cannot ready with player card effects. Oh my goodness, I like that card for me. Usually, whenever I'm playing, is like nothing. Like it's like a nothing burger. I just like throw it out like whatever, and it's like chill. And I like always one word know that card, but that card like wrecked everything that my wife wanted to do, especially because she wasn't the one that was able to throw it out like on her turn, right? So she went first. She can't throw it out the natural storm because she can't even ready with Gwen to like play like her Thor event or anything like that. So like it was terrible, guys. Like man, that was a really annoying game, and I felt so. I was like, let's just stop playing, guys. But we ended up finishing it. It was brutal. Man, that was a brutal game. Okay, let me so the poll's been going on for over 5 minutes. You guys have actually decisively voted. 67% of the votes here agree with me to keep Gwen in the C tier. I am surprised with that, guys. I thought the community loved Gwen a lot. So most of you guys agree with me. 25% of the votes voted to move her up to B, and 80% of you guys want to drop her down to D. Dang, guys, you guys hate Gwen that much. But okay, so we're in the poll here. It's been over 6 minutes. So yeah, you guys voted to keep Gwen in the C tier. So I'm gonna keep it right here, as what the chat wants. So yeah, that's totally fair. So I'm gonna have another poll here for you guys. If you guys want to rank Miles or Spider Ham next, with possibly chat's last turn here for this tier list debate. So which hero does chat want to rank next? We'll do Miles or Ham. And let's see what chat votes for here. All right, where are we at with chat? Okay, Terax says not flipping down with Gwen versus Expert Rhino with the Infinite Gauntlet, Flight, Super Strength, and Telepathy was the key. I play Protection, Perfect Defense build. See, I can see that being successful. My thing is, if on turn one, if you get none of your perfect defense stuff built out, you get unlucky, which is happening to me for perfect defense all the time. Like you're kind of done, right? Because then you're like you're on the back queue, right? You need to actually play. You need to have an explosive turn one for that to work off. I think. T-Rex says expert defense is insane. Yeah, that card's really good with Gwen. Not so much good with other heroes, but Gwen pops up with so many zero cost defense events and has a lot of synergies with that. I wish there were more aspect cards to synergize with her. I feel like protection and aggression are like kind of two ways to play Gwen because of interrupts and responses on like zero cost events. I wish that more aspect cards had that. Jack Bell says probably the most swingy hero. Well, yeah. Kamiko says you think being swingy is good for web war. Yeah, Yeah, I agree. Like what Ghost Spider is a very swingy hero, right? When she's flowing, not getting stunned or confused, she's like popping off, and then she swings lower whenever you're getting stunned or confused or exhausted even. Mon Lucas says, "LOL, yeah." Narayan says, "Ham." What's the chat here? Okay, I think you guys are voting Ham here, so I think chat's gonna use their last turn to rank Ham. This is weird. No one wants to rank Miles, guys. I thought that actually I don't know if he's as I feel like he's almost underrated at this point. But you guys did not want to rank Miles with your turn. He had 0% of the votes for one of the prior polls here. I think I'm just end this poll because it's pretty decisive. We have 33% of the votes here for Miles and 67 for Spider-Ham. I don't think that's changing, right? Let me let it run for a little bit. But yeah, let me jump over to Ham's cards because I feel you guys are gonna vote for Ham here. So I'll just go ahead and share this tab. Um, okay, so we got Spider Ham here. Ooh, he is one of the most overtuned here. I don't know what the designers were thinking with Spider Ham. Like with how undertuned Ghost Spider is, especially with her obligation, like neutering what she wants to do. Spider Ham is overtuned. Like, okay, so many things. Okay, so in hero form, each tune counter on Ham can be spent as if it were a wild resource. Inspired Nonsense is a response after you take any amount of damage, you place a tune counter on him. So if someone retaliates on you, you get a resource off of that. So like that's already amazing. He should not have 5 recovery and 12 hit points, guys. Why does he have so much? Like his stats are crazy. So yeah, I think I'm just end up poll here. So you guys want to rank Ham, and I'm gonna ask chat, where does chat want to rank Spider Ham? So where does chat want to rank Spider Ham? And we'll do S, A, B, C, or D. So I have heard some people say that Spider Ham to them is a D tier level here. They hate playing him because he's so powerful. I don't personally agree with that. Like I don't like Strange to me is not one of my least favorite heroes just because he's powerful. I think that there's enough things in Marvel Champions, even like Expert Ronin on like Expert One can be a challenge for Spider Ham, right? Like he doesn't just like demolish Ronin. Like a lot of people say that like Strange just demolishes Ronin. I'm not gonna like go on a crazy tangent there, but yeah, I don't think that any hero like completely blind demolish the scenario if you don't know how to play the hero, if you're not like optimizing your deck and all that stuff. There are ways to do that, but it takes like routes to do, right? It takes like knowing how to play. It's not just like any Strange that will demolish Ronin. I think it's the same for Spider Ham. He has 2 Thor, which is the most important stat, 1 attack and 1 defense, but you can actually build his attack up with his huge wooden hammer. He gets +1 attack with this card. The key card in his kit is the organic webbing. And unlike Silk, for her organic webbing, where she has 1 Thor and it puts her up to 2 Thor, you can exhaust the webbing to ready. Spider Ham gets +1 Thor, going up to 3 Thor, guys. And here we're actually exhaust and remove 2 count to ready up Spider Ham and give him aerial. So very thematic, fun card for him, for sure. But just overtuned, right? Goodness, 3 Thor, but that's tons of fun to go to Thor for 3 2 times in a turn. One of my favorite cards for him is gotta be next 1 cost upgrade as interrupt. So it's on demand here. It's an upgrade. When your identity would take any amount of damage, discard the card, wiggle your body, and prevent all but 1 damage. So this, if you're gonna take 10 damage, you prevent all of it, just take 1, and then you can proc your Spire Nonsense and get a tune counter. What the heck, guys? That's crazy. And you get a resource off of that, which you can use to play like another card. So very good. Okay. Let me see. Catch up on chat here. So Nar Antler says Gwenpool for stick to itiveness, but pool is not for everyone. Yeah, I also enjoy like Gwen in the pool aspect. I just wish the pool aspect had more interrupts though. But stick to itiveness is a great on demand ready for her. To get her like going for her identity specific cards. Ritzy Rios says Ham, a tough one. I adore Roger Rabbit esque tunes. So Ham was one of the first characters I played after Shield. Oh, cool. I dropped him short for one reason. He's way too strong, makes wins easy. Yeah, I can totally see that as well. Yeah. I'm seeing the poll here. You guys are voting Ham to be. Oh my goodness, this is a very decisive poll. We have 42% S tier, 33% in C or D. And then yeah, this is a weird one. Okay. Let me see. I'm actually shocked to see a hand that high because seeing a lot of people like complain about him, so that he's like overtuned. Terex says, Ham he is better than Peter, so he's S tier also. Do you want to put everyone in S? I think you feel like everyone's better than Peter. Glavin says, I enjoy the wacky stuff with Ham, but playing him feels so absurdly easy that I just don't really enjoy playing him. I enjoy the wacky stuff. Yeah, I you definitely have to tune up the scenario. Like you have to play a tough scenario like Ronin or Goblin, or put in like difficult modules or like standard two, expert two, something like that, right? To make ham more fun. Monaludico says S Spider Ham too much OP to my taste, which is somewhat anti-thematic to me. I mean, a cartoonish pig is as strong as Web War series. Yeah, like I agree with you. In case anyone is watching this, I agree that Spider Ham is the strongest Web Warrior in the game, stronger than Peter Parker Spider Man. So in terms of like power level, he's definitely S tier. I just don't know if he's fun S tier. So Monaludico says it's somewhat anti-thematic. I don't enjoy OP heroes in general. Okay, yeah, I can see that. I don't personally relate or agree, but I can definitely see people that I think that's a very valid argument. People that don't like to play super powerful tuned heroes. Um, Tarek says, I agree. I don't play Spider-Ham or Deadpool when playing my friends because they are too strong and see the show. Yeah, my friends hate when I play Deadpool, but they don't mind when I play Spider-Ham. Narayana says Spider-Ham is what Hulk should have been. I'm not bothered by OP heroes because MC is customizable. You have to tune the encounter to go to his economy power. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And yeah, I feel a lot of people would complain less if like Hulk was just Spider-Ham, right? Other than the thwarting, I think Hulk should still not have good thwarting. But like if Hulk was Spider-Ham, I think we get less complaints because Hulk's like the strongest there is. So like it makes sense for Hulk to be so powerful, not this like cartoon guy. Yeah. Okamiko says I'd say hand feels more fun at the deck building stage than the actual playing stage. More fun than deck building stage. Okay. Coming up with deck frame is very fun. Yeah, I agree with that. Playing is usually cool, but devoid of a challenge. Yeah, he has a lot of cool aspect synergies, which is fun. Okay, let me end this poll here. So, oh, that's a tough one. Okay, so 50% of the chat voted for hand being S tier. That's where we're putting him, guys. So, yeah. Next is led by the C or D tier with 29% of the votes, and then A tier with 14%, and B tier with 7%. So, I am surprised he got the most S tier votes, other than Peter Parker, because half you guys also voted, 50% voted for Peter Parker to also stay him in, to keep him S tier, right? So, crazy, crazy there, guys. I am shocked by that. I did not think that hand would be this beloved by the community. So let's put him in the S tier. And now I gotta ask you guys, do you want him above or behind Peter Parker Spider-Man? Uh, where should Ham go? In S. Uh, at the top, at the bottom. So see where you guys rank Spider-Man. I'm shocked, guys. Wow, I guess people love Spider-Man. That's cool to see. I don't see much love for him. I feel like a lot of the comments I read here also were people that weren't particularly fun of or don't enjoy Spider-Man as much because of how overpowered he is and how overtuned he is. Um, Jen's Wonder says the cartoonish theme doesn't work for me. It doesn't vibe with the rest of the game, in my opinion. I can see. I know a lot of people hate the cartoonish theme of. Oh, am I not sharing this? No, I am. I am. Okay. Um, the cartoonish theme, I don't mind at all. I think it's personally fun. I just think it's too overtuned. But yeah, I know a lot of people hate that, and a lot of people hate the Deadpool like meta shenanigans as well. Mono Ludico says, "Come on, guys, vote conscious." Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I am shocked, guys. I am surprised by these the poll here. But hey, it is what the community says. It's good to know. Avengers Assemble says, "Is this a power level ranking or preference?" It is a preference ranking, guys. Preference ranking. It is a fun tier list. So Avengers Assemble says, "I voted S for power." No, no, this is not a power ranking tier list, guys. This is for how fun and how much you like these heroes, how good their designs are. Like, do you think it's like a peak level design? Like fun, not fun. I have the tiers here described for you guys too. So hope you guys can't hear my stomach. I am hungry, guys. My stomach is growling. So we gotta wrap this up. Okamiko says to put my thoughts in different words. When you feel good after winning with him, it's usually because of the deck you built and not decisions you actually make during actual play. That makes sense. Yeah, that's something that I'm not a big fan of either. Glavin says, I don't mind OP heroes, but I feel like Spider-Ham just doesn't feel rewarding. Yeah, you just get a bunch of resources and play a million cards. There's a few interesting decisions, in my opinion. I think that there are unique decision-making opportunities with him because of how you generate the resources with this hero ability Spire nonsense. I think that there's ways to build around that and make it fun to generate more resources. But I agree with you. A lot of times it doesn't feel as rewarding because it's like if I'm playing a strong hero to beat like an easy scenario, like I don't feel satisfied from that. Nar Inler says team building exercise with Ham too. He should be the picture on that card. Yeah. Because the cartoon thing is crazy. Like that's another overtuned thing with Spireham, guys. In case you guys don't know, and pop over here, guys. Why does he have the cartoon trait? And then why do like all of his cards also have the cartoon trait here? Like on top of being crazy, like he crazy economy, he does not need team building exercise to work with all of his cards. Come on. He is arguably the best target for team building exercise because it's on every single card, right? Like Iceman does not have the ice trait on all of his cards. Sparham has it every single card. So yeah, I agree with Narayanas there. He should be the poster child for a team building exercise. Um, Avengers Assemble says, "Oh dang, I would have definitely voted B or C." Well, yeah, I mean it's okay. I think either way, we had enough votes in S where S would have been the majority vote no matter what. I hope not a lot of other people had that misunderstanding. There. Maybe I need to clarify that more for you guys. Narayan says, "I suspect Ham got power ranked in this poll. Maybe he did. I think he might have." Monolutico says, "As mentioned above, it seems some guys confuse fun with powerless. New poll, please. Is that fair?" I'll consider it here. Anthony Zero says Venom should be S2, just saying, in terms of fun, right? Well, unfortunately, he cannot be Web War. He's not a Spire hero. He's not going to be in our tier list for this video. Terax says, just put a clear purpose on. Yeah, and he instantly becomes the most fun hero in the game. I don't know about. It is fun, though. It is fun using clear purpose with him. Avengers Assemble says, I do love powerful heroes like Doctor Strange, and it makes sense that he's so strong. Like Nara Inner said, the difficulty is so scalable that I can make any multiplayer game enough difficult. Yeah, I think that's a great point there. Okay, so you guys voted 54% to keep him at the bottom of S tier. So I will keep him here, okay? But let me end the poll. I'm gonna have one more poll here. So we're gonna have to go through hoops to move the ranking here because it seemed like a lot of you guys were confused. So since this fun is a fun tier list, should we re-rank Spider Ham? Since some of you guys did ask for that, let me just see. Because if it's a misunderstanding, then I think it's fair to re-rank it. But if people actually like meant to rank him in S2 level fun, I don't want to change that. Terex said, "LO, just start the entire list over for the whole tier list." I think people understood for a lot of these heroes because like most of the chats. Actually, I think almost all the chat was talking about how fun a hero was, like Gwen being like fun. And then people were saying as well, like Gwen's not that powerful, but I like playing her, stuff like that. So yeah, okay. I mean, 55% of you guys voted to not re-rank Sparham. So I think you guys, I think that maybe a lot of chats that ranked Sparham as S level fun just weren't chatting, like just like lurking and like saying that, and voting that he's very fun, but not coming out and saying that he's fun. Maybe because of judgment from the community, of people saying like, oh, he's so easy. Why do you have fun with him? Because I know a lot of people. There's a lot of shaming for like people that love Strange and love playing him. Like, oh, you just like fun heroes, like or like sorry, oh, you just play with powerful heroes, like it's not satisfactory. So yeah, I definitely want to open that up for like no shaming. But yeah, it seems like more people right now are voting for not re-ranking Spireham, which means that a lot of people thought Spireham was very fun because this tier list is very like I word here, it's a fun tier list. So everyone knows that's talking about fun here for the poll. So everyone that's voting for the poll, I think knows it's a fun tier list. And a lot of you guys don't want to re-rank him, which means that you guys do believe that he is extra level fun. So I want to honor that. Um, Avengers Assemble says, "Yeah, I just got here and was sad I wasn't here earlier. Sorry, man. It's okay. You can definitely catch the rest of the stream for another time though. But we still have one more here to rank, so it's gonna be we still have some fun left." Monolithical says, "Guess power match is fun for majority." Yeah, I mean, I think it matches that way a lot for me. Like a lot of times, heroes that are very fun, I also think they're strong as well. So for me, it's about having flexibility to do things. But yeah, I mean, Ham is one of the few heroes for me. If I were to rank him naturally, I'd probably put him in the B tier for me personally, just because I think that he is overtuned. But he is still a very funny, like a fun hero for me to play. So I do like him a lot. It's just a lot of points of like the deck building, how it's not as rewarding. I do feel that. Um, Anthony Zero says OG Spider up top is awesome. You should stay there. Yes, thank you guys for voting for him to stay there. The most people voted for him to stay there, right? Because we had 50% of voters voted to keep him in the S tier peak design, and I ran the poll for like over 3 minutes. I think over 5 minutes. So that was a long poll running, and more than 50% of people voted for Spire him to be below Peter Parker. So, I'm going with you guys here. This is what you guys voted. This is not a Web Warrior, bias thing there. You guys voted for this. um, Alexi, well, welcome to the chat, man. I'm glad you could join us. Hello, hope you're doing good. Thank you, man. I hope you're doing well as well. I'm glad you're able to tune in here at the end of this live stream. Ritzy Ryu says, as a chronic pool player, I have learned to never judge gameplay preferences. Yeah, yeah. I know you got judged hardcore for a lot of purposes, especially when the pool aspect was first introduced in the game, guys. This is like a huge, like, toxic thing in a community where people would just bash on you for like even liking the pool aspect. Like I talked to Ritzy about this, but I like posted a video where I talked about like recommending the pool aspect. I said it's one of the best value like packs that you can buy in Marvel Champions, buying the Deadpool Hero pack because it has the entire card pool for an aspect in one pack, right? So if you're a minimalist player and you're like, I only have the core set and I can only buy one hero pack and one expansion. Well, if you don't have your favorite hero, right? Like if your favorite hero is like Spider-Man, for example, or you have your favorite hero. So which pack do you want to get the most value from their deck building cards? The pool aspect, you can put pair with any hero and get so much playability, like replayability from that. So yeah, I posted that. Got so much hate, dude. Everyone's saying like people even told me like they commented that and like it got so many like upvotes. People were saying, um, you are doing a disservice to the community by recommending the Deadpool hero back. I was like, what the heck, guys? Like, what? Like, first off, it's my opinion. Like, you don't have to listen to it, but I give specific points of why I thought it was a great buy. So yeah, I mean that was insane to me. I think that's flipped though. I think there's still a lot of huge pool aspect haters. And don't get me wrong, I want to clarify. If you hate the pool aspect, that's fair. Like, I respect you hating the pool aspect. What I don't respect is if you say someone else like is dumb for liking the pool aspect, or you think that someone is like not playing a fun Marvel Champions experience just because they're playing the pool aspect a lot. So like, yeah, that's my problem, right? It's entirely fine to hate the pool aspect to oblivion. That's for I can like see that side as well, right? It is repetitive, right? A lot of things are kind of samey, right? So I can definitely see that. But if like let's not judge other people. And I know Ritzy like just for saying that, like I know that Ritzy felt like on a lot of streams, like on other people's streams, she would like mention the pool aspect and like get shut down or something like that. So yeah, I guys like the pool aspect. Just it's it's fun for a lot of people. A lot of people love the pool aspect. It's turning more now. I think Deadpool's hero pack is getting kind of out of print almost. I don't know. So like if you like the pool aspect, just buy it. If you want to try it out, just buy it, guys. Like everyone can enjoy whatever they want to do. Like no hate to anybody. Um, Nara says totally fair to double check the rank on him. Gotta respect the chat though. It's very interesting to see how others feel. I know I'm out on my own with Domino, so it makes I'm not sure. I think a lot of people love Domino because D20 and Nelson, like Domino's one of their favorite heroes, right? I think it's still Nelson's favorite hero all time. So yeah, okay. So we have 60% of the chat here voting to not re-rank Spire him. So you guys knew that it was a fun tier list and you guys did not want to re-rank him. So you guys are smart. You guys knew this was a fun tier list and I chose to rank Spire him in the S tier. So I'm gonna respect that and I'll keep him here because you guys did have him behind Peter Parker with the vote here in the S tier. So yeah, that was surprising because I think everyone that's chatting, I didn't see any chatters say that Spire him is S tier, but we know that the majority of people still think he's S tier in terms of how funny he is because that's where you guys put him. So yeah, crazy, crazy, crazy. I am pretty surprised with that one. Okay, and then Avengers Assemble says, yeah, it's like Drax. I love what he's trying to do in the character in general, but my God, he is so frustrating to play because he's weak compared to a lot of other heroes. Yeah, I think that's how I feel about Ghost Spider. Like, I like her a lot. I like Drax a lot too, like the actual character, but he is frustrating. Nara says, I'm 100% with Ritzy. I don't judge what other people enjoy. I've learned what people tend to like versus what I like. Yeah, I think that's something I've learned quickly in life as well. Like, not everyone's gonna like what you like, and that's completely okay. Like, it's not a big deal. Let other people do their thing. Like, respect their opinions. Like, you know, like there's no. I don't want to be someone that's dismissive of other people on how they feel, right? Because their experience is different from mine. Some people like playing powerful heroes. Some people like playing weak heroes, like the underdogs. So everyone has their own opinion. Avenged Assemble says, Ritzy Rios, honestly, Pool Colossus is one of the most fun decks I have played, and the aspect has quickly become potentially my top 2 most played aspect. Colossus with the Pool aspect. I don't think I've ever even thought of that. but not my responsibility is nice. He has the armor ups. Obviously, like in his kit. I'm not sure what synergy are you playing him in because that sounds very interesting. I love Colossus with Ready for a Fight though, so I'm not sure if I would change that as my favorite way, but that's interesting. Anthony Zero says, "Oh, the chat just moved. Where'd it go?" Anthony Zero, where's your chat? Okay, they should add more pool cards in a fall hero pack. Yeah, I would love to see that. Unfortunately, because of stuff going out of print and not getting reprinted anymore, I don't know if they'll ever. I feel like this is like their best excuse to never bring back the pool aspect. Because if you ever reprint the pool aspect, you have to reprint the Crisis of Infinite Deadpool as that module, right? And then like if you reprint the pool aspect, but without like stick to infinite, the pool triples, not my responsibility, who's gonna want to buy that, right? I feel like you gotta reprint so many cards in the pool aspect, but you have to add in like new pool aspect cards. But on players that only have that one won't have the Deadpool ones. I would love to see it. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see it. I just think it's very unlikely, which kind of stinks. Um, Chains of Wash says, long time watcher, first time live stream. Welcome to the chat, man. Welcome to the live stream. I voted Ham for the longest time, but once I played him, it was a blast. Yeah, I think the first time I played Ham, it was a lot, a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed him. I played him, I think, in a pool aspect for my first game with laser swords, because he has so many readies, right? With the Peter Parker basic ally, but also with his with stick to and with the organic webbing. So that was like on demand readies for him to like get a bunch of readies and like swing for a lot of damage. So I had a lot of fun. I think that just the more I played him, he's kind of went down for me, but it's still a hero that I don't mind going back to, and he is fun to play. Okay, let me catch up here. Not on chat because I'm falling too far behind, but I'm gonna rank Miles first, and I'm gonna let you guys vote, and I'll catch up a little bit on chat here. Okay, so he's the last hero. So chat used their turn to rank Spider-Man in the S tier behind Spider-Man Peter Parker. And I get the final ranking here, but you guys are allowed to vote and move my ranking up or down. Let's hop over to Sinister Moses here to go over Miles' cards. I have the tab pulled up right here. So Spider-Man Miles Morales, the hero that nobody in chat wanted to rank, because one of the polls, you guys, 0% of people voted to rank Miles here. So, okay, he is a very unique spider. So 4 recovery, which is very good recovery, 2 thwart, 2 attack, 2 defense, which is the ideal stat line, instead of the 1, 2, 3 that a lot of spider heroes have. He is actually, the more that I play him, the more that I realize he's super thematic, guys. Very, very thematic. I love Venom Blast and Spider Camouflage on his printed card, right? Because Miles Morales has a Venom Blast, to like shock, deal 2 damage and stun enemy. And his Spider Camouflage, you get a tough because you're invisible, and you confuse them because you're invisible. Like, that's freaking awesome, right? So I love this with Spider-Man. And I love that you can trigger this with your different abilities, like with a swing in, you remove foil from a scheme. If you pair this with a mental kicker, then resolve your spark. Send the web shot, do 4 damage. If you pair it with the energy, resolve the Venom Blast ability, right? So very cool cards. Yeah, very thematic. I love the web shooters with them as well. I kind of wish they printed the art on this. But yeah, very, very cool cards. Very thematic to his kit. Miles, for me, he goes in the B tier in Fine Silk. I think that he's a fun hero. I think where he's lacking for me is he does not have the aspect synergies that I want. And I think that is different from aspect versatility. He is very, very, very versatile in every single aspect. He plays so well in leadership, justice, protection, and in aggression, and in pull, right? He plays great in everything. The unfortunate thing is, no matter what aspect I play with him, his cards just give way more value. Because when I'm playing a web shot, I'm also proccing Venom Blast along the web shot. When I play a swing in, I'm also proccing Spider Camouflage. There's no other Thor event in Justice that's going to synergize as well for Miles as a swing in. We're able to proc Spider Camouflage, right? Even if you can get it confused with another Thor event, you're getting a tough along with that. Like, why would you not want that, right? Like, so if I have a swing in, nothing else is prioritized. And with this alter ego ability here, respond to changing this form, shuffle a Spider-Man card from discard pile into your deck. Well, I'm constantly those cards as swing ins, double lives, web shots back into my deck when I'm playing them. So it's even less use of aspect cards. So whenever I'm playing Miles, I find myself just prioritizing his aspect cards, and I find deck building to be a lot less fun. Because sure, I can deck build for the aspect cards, But whenever I'm playing, I'm just way too tempted to not play the Astro cards and just to play his regular identity specific cards. So especially this shuffling in war, I'm just playing so much Miles Morales cards. I don't know. Yeah, that's what drops him down for me. And for the Venom Blast and Spire Camouflage, I love that it stuns and confuses. I think it's so thematic that it does that. But you guys know I said earlier, I'm not the biggest fan of status lock builds in my deck, and that's what his main gimmick is. I think he still plays well and is strong against Steady, and he's still totally viable against Star because that's just how strong he is. But in terms of how fun he is, he's a lot less fun if I'm not proccing, if I'm playing against Steady because this isn't proccing as much, and he's less fun with the aspect synergies that I'm lacking with him. So yeah, for me, I still haven't found like an aspect that I really enjoy him in. That synergizes with his build, just like being there, and I'm just playing his card. So yeah, for that reason, oh, I started initiate the tap. For that reason here, Miles goes in the B tier for me. He's a fun hero to play. He's still fun, but he's just never gonna be like very fun or like a peak design for me. So let me start off a poll here for chat. So that's my last ranking. And now I'm gonna ask you guys, do you want to move my ranking for Miles? And I'm gonna put in parentheses fun tier list in case anyone's just joining us right now, to make sure that everyone knows. So we're gonna do no, keep in B, yes, move up to A, or yes, move down to C. So this is going to be chat's last turn here. You guys want to rank my evaluation for Miles. Okay, let me catch up on chat. Oh, man, I think I'm a little bit far behind. I apologize, guys. Oh, man. I don't know where I'm at. Okay. Okay. I think Avengers Assemble here says, there's a hero that feels like anytime there's a hero that feels like they're not able to do what they want, I slap that in. And with healing factor and the double triple resource alone, they can play all the hero cards. Yeah, that's true. I love the pull aspect for like heroes that like feel like they struggle a little bit and need those triples. That's a great way to use the pool aspect. Avengers Assemble says that feels amazing. Yeah. Lavin says people are just weird. Not a big pool fan, but I'm not gonna hate others for enjoying it. Yeah, I mean I totally agree. Like I'm not a big Spider-Woman fan, but I respect everyone that loves her, right? Like I know a lot of people love Spider-Woman in the community, so that's totally fair. And yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree with you on that. Like just let people do what they want to do. Avengers Assemble says you can splash the allies from basic since the pool allies suck. I don't know if they suck, but yeah, I mean, especially if you want to like tribal decks like Web Wars, you can play Web War pool deck, but with the basic Web War allies, which is very fun. Andrew Nelson says, I don't like the pool aspect either, but different strokes for different folks. Totally agree. Yeah, like, yeah, it's cool that everyone in chat like agrees. It's just like I think it's probably like people that aren't in my community that like hate on people for like recommending things that they personally think is great. Like I know the pool aspect has changed how a lot of people play Mario Champions. Like I know Ritzy Rios, like we talked about it like a lot of times, but like like pool aspect changed for her, like how she likes the game, and changed She-Hulk for her, and it changed She-Hulk for me too as well. Like it really broadened my horizon how I love Mario Champions. Um, Alexis or Alexi, I mean, sorry about that. Alexi says, I like pool. I just hate the dread pool set. It scares me. But every time I play with it, it's a great time. Yeah, I mean, I've gotten used to it. I think it's not as bad. But it can be very bad for specific heroes for sure. Mama Ludico says, time for confession. OG Spider-Man is the funniest web war hero to me. Funniest, what does that mean? Is he the most fun? Since I got the base game back in 2020 when playing Spider-Man, I always stop the villain attack and say, let's see what it says, stop there. Don't you know who I am? And I draw my card. Yeah, I can say that. That's kind of weird. Like it's like, hey, stop. Let me draw my card first, and then he like does his thing. Ritzy Ryu says, I'm not a fan of leadership, but will never tell someone not to play for sure. Yeah, I'm the weirdo that likes the teenage warhead symbiote on expert. Yeah, that's not my cup of tea. I think Nar Antlers probably likes stuff like that as well. He loves those like shenanigans stuff. But yeah, like to each like their own. Uh, Ritzy says, also thank you for being awesome, folks. Yeah, shouts to my community, shouts to all the charities I like can't like express. Like you guys are awesome. Thank you for being so open and for listening to me, rant about stuff like this, like people that hate on the pull aspect and stuff like that. And just being open-mindedness, I think is so important. Anthony Zero says, imagine judging someone's playstyle on a single co-op game. Crazy. Yeah, it's crazy to even judge people, even on like competitive games, like I know like for a lot of competitive games, some people love meta decks, some people hate meta decks and want to play with underdog decks. Like both are cool. Like I'm not gonna hate on someone just because they want to play a meta deck. Like I think for me, I like to play like meta decks, but I like to put wonky cards in there, like to add my flair to like the deck, right? That's kind of how I like to play competitive games. But yeah, for a co-op game, guys, play the pool aspect if you want to. Like it's totally fine. Or play like the meta strongest leadership decks as well, right? That's totally fine as well. And I personally enjoy both. Avenged Assemble says pool is so good for Colossus because he can get down like 30 upgrades, and when he's flipping, because he can get down like 30 upgrades, and when he's flipping all the time, he'll hit more of his cards, so he can play out his whole hand without having to pay for any. Okay, he can. Okay, so like the pool triples like help him a lot. Yeah, I totally see that. Not really 30. Yeah. That's an exaggeration. Terax says Gwenpool would be the only way that I can see it happening. Yeah, that would be exciting here to see in the future. Oh crap, where to check? Okay. Glavin says, I love the alter ego stuff with him. Feels super thematic with him. You mean with Miles? Let me jump over to Miles cards a little bit more. I do want to talk a little bit more about Miles. Um, so see, I mean, you have this in Miles, like the alter ego response, which is cool with the form flipping with Spider-Man. I like love that mechanic. Double life is cool as well. Genki Lee is awesome. I love Genki because you can use it in hero form to recycle a card. But if you're an alter ego, then you don't have this card, so you just get a free draw for 2 costs, which is great. So that's some nice stuff. It's not like the craziest impact, but it's nice. Jefferson Davis, though, is I mean, it's not a terrible card, but it's not like the best. 2 cost support, RT action, exhaust him to remove 1 threat from a scene with the least threat. So this card isn't great, but it's nice to have. I played it and used it my fair share of time. So another cool thing is that this is actually a shield support. So if you're playing a shield deck, which is Maz precon, you can actually exhaust Jefferson Davis to proc stuff, global logistics or home intervention, which is pretty neat actually. So yeah, he's a pretty cool card with that. Let me hop back to the tier list for you guys. Share this tab. Okay. Narayaner says, my weirdest combo is basic Scarlet Spider ally and Venom ally combo. Yeah, I know you love that. I remember one of your custom game requests, you requested me to use that Venom ally, and dude, I could not find it. I was getting so stressed. I did not know where I put my Venom ally card. It ended up being with the campaign cards for Sinister Motives. That was where I put it. I don't have it there anymore, but that really stressed me out. I love it, but the response to it is the why? Yeah, I know you love stuff like that. Okamiko says, consider the combo of pinpoint and ready for a fight, plus practice plan for him. Combine with Darcy Sinclair to play even harder into his quick flip playstyle, and that core still allows him to use the web wars. Yeah, I think I've have like no more water here. I think I have played Maz with Ready for a Fight, and that's been a lot of fun. But I don't think I've tried Pinpoint with him, and Ready for a Fight. So that would be a lot more ways for him to recur stuff, which is fun. Which because that's like leaning into his kit, but also some extra synergy. So yeah, thank you for that suggestion there. So guys, I can't speak anymore. I need more water. Avengers Assemble says, I haven't played Maz personally, but I played with him at the table, and I'd say it does make sense to say that his cards do everything he needs to do. That's what Pool is so good at supporting. Yeah, Pool I think would be great for Maz too. Especially because so many good webware allies are basic. Pool can simply pay for all of those, and Maz will have some amount of time, which will help along with healing factor to heal. Yeah. There was double triple research online to pair everything along with the reassurance. Yeah, totally agree. It's real smiley faces. Tired old dude. Welcome to the stream, dude. Late to stream. All good. You can still catch the rest. You're just going back here. But want to say that I love the design space. It's so fast that we got so many Spire heroes that each play so different. Yeah, it's so cool that what I love is that so many of them have the exact same style line, the 1, 2, 3, right? And then we got the 1, 2, 3 with Silk and 1, 2, 3 with Ghost Spider. But these 3 heroes feel so different from each other, even though they have the exact same style line, which is kind of unique with that style line itself. But like the fact they play different from each other is pretty cool. Glavin says, yeah, with Maz, I think his alter ego is so important to his character. Yeah, totally agree. So exploring it some way was really smart. Definitely think Jefferson is the worst card. Yeah, I totally agree with that. So yeah. Okay. So Poe is running for over 8 minutes. You guys agree with me. Keep Miles in the B tier with 54% of the votes. 31 of you guys wanted to move on to A tier, and 15% of you guys wanted to move him down to C tier. So I think, yeah, 57 here for B is Where This Lies, and that is going to be our tier list here, guys. Okay, so let's take a look at this tier list here that we built together. So we have in S tier, the best designs for Web Wars and Marvel Champions, leading up the core set Peter Parker Spider-Man, which chat agree with. Okay, I'm gonna double down on this. Okay, obviously I put him there, but I asked you guys if you want to move him, and you guys were tied up 50% of the votes, decide to keep him here at the top of S tier. So we had to keep him there. That's what chat thinks. So I agree with you guys. Best design for the Web Warriors, still just from the core set, which is insane. Spider Ham here, chat ranked Spider Ham, and the majority of you guys voted for him to put him in the S tier, although there were quite a few C and D tier votes. I think 30% of you guys, but still the majority voted for S tier. And the majority of you guys voted to keep him in S tier, but you guys did vote to rank him below Peter Parker. So with this S tier here, I don't mind that. I think that Spider-Ham, I can definitely see the appeal of him, and he is a very fun hero. Especially when I first played him, he was a lot of fun. He's gotten a little bit less fun to me, but I don't mind seeing him here in the S tier for how fun he is. And his design, I mean, I guess you can say it is peak, right? I wish there was more reward, but it is still a fun design. Next in the A tier, we have the Spider Suit, and then Spider Woman. I was a little bit shocked, but Chow is the one that ranked Spider Woman. You guys ranked her behind the Spider Suit in the A tier. So a little bit surprised with that. I feel like a lot of people in the community have her in S tier, but a lot of my community, I guess, has her in the A tier behind the Spider Suit, which I think is really, really fun. In the B tier, we have Silk and Miles. Silk, I probably would have put a little bit higher, but yeah, I think that this is a fair spot for both these guys. And in the C tier, oh, that's surprising. The least fun web war in the game, ranked by me and agree with by chat, is actually Ghostfire here, which is pretty surprising. So I want to ask you guys here, how do you feel about the tier list? I like it. I don't agree with it at all. And then I don't mind it. So, because you guys did collab with me for this tier list. So I wonder how what you guys think about it. I feel like you guys should like it, right? Because a lot of this is chat's opinion. And I didn't move a lot of y'all's things out of respect for you guys. So, yeah, but it's surprising to see that Gwen Ghostfire is the least favorite design for a web warrior in all Marvel Champions for the community, which is, yeah, that's crazy, guys. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with that. I'm pretty surprised to see it so low. Avengers Assemble says, my bad, I butchered the word on my last comment, but then before I realized, yeah, it's all good, man. I'm not entirely sure you mean, but I think I got bits and parts of it, so it is entirely good. Ritzy Ryu says, seems pretty good. I agree with it besides Ham. Yeah, I think for me, I'll agree with it besides Spider-Woman, but at the same time, I had a chance to move her and I didn't, so yeah. But yeah, this is a pretty fun, pretty equal tier list here for everything. Alexi says, these tier lists are always interesting because I would swap Peter Parker and Gwen. Really? What? Alexi, I didn't know you hated Peter that much. What? What? I didn't. I feel you never told me that. What? You think Peter Parker is C tier? Oh my goodness. Were you lurking and voting him to be like C tier? I don't know if he got vote. No, that vote was never even casted, right? Because the only vote was to move him up or down to A, right? That's crazy. Oh my goodness. I mean, that's totally fair. I respect that. I'm just surprised. Monoludico says, I like it, but my biggest disagreements are Ham and Gwen. Interesting. Where would you put Ham and Gwen? So I know that you wanted Ham down. Did you have Gwen higher? Nar Antler says, core set heroes need to be S and A tier, or it means power creep is happening. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm a little worried about how strong Tiger holding are for Parker. Yeah. Stretch 22 beat Heroic Ronin, pin down Tiger. Oh, really? Okay, cool. I haven't seen that video yet, so that's interesting. Yeah, I'm worried too. I think that, so I love that a lot of the core set heroes are S and A tier. Do you mean for power or for fun? But I think for fun, I think it's important that the core set hero, because it's the core set. So having a good core set with like super fun heroes that people still love, I think is important. And I personally do love the core set heroes, right? Like Spider-Man's S tier for me. Iron Man's like SA. Captain Marvel is like A. And then we have She-Hulk's like A. Oh man, sometimes She-Hulk goes up to S for me too, because like the new stuff that's come out with her is like really fun. Um, Probably not S though, but like yeah, A for She-Hulk, and then like Black Panther's in like the B tier for me in terms of how much I like these heroes. But I'm excited to see Black Panther get future things that may bump him up to even S or A for me. But yeah, I mean, I agree. The core set is really cool. Take 100% of the votes here. You guys like this tier list. Okay, I'm happy you guys like this. I thought I'd get some people that didn't agree with the tier list, but thank you guys. I'm glad you guys enjoy this tier list. Okay, I feel good. We all like this. We collaborated on the tier list, and I feel good. Chat feels good. Glad to see 100% of the votes here. Love that. Um, yeah. Oh yeah. But what Narians was saying, yeah, I'm worried, dude, because Tigra and Hulkling, dang, they're overtuned. I think they're a little bit too powerful. And Wonder Man, who I'm hyped for, like I'm super excited for Wonder Man, and I really want to see his skin. I really want to play him. He looks so powerful. Like he looks bonkers, guys. So I'm a little bit worried about how strong he'll be as well. Um, Yeah, he looks crazy good. So like I don't know. I'm worried that we're heading in a direction where like these heroes are just so overtuned. Um, I think that the mutant heroes were so good in terms of like they weren't like insanely powerful. Like some were, like Cable, obviously, but like even now, like, a lot of people say that they hate playing Cable and that whenever they play Cable, he sucks. So I think it's fine to like have a hero where you have to actually like maneuver around his mechanics, right? You have to actually like abuse the side schemes and stuff like that to really like abuse Cable. So I like I don't know. I don't know if Hulkling Tiger. I think Tiger is pretty straightforward. And then that she's so flexible, which is like also good design, but at the same time she's just so powerful. Um, because you can build her out slowly with pin down. You also do a high tempo build with aggression and just some minions and use Brinket to like draw tons of cards and just be super powerful with Tiger. So like it's crazy how good Tiger is. And then like Hulkling, I think that he's like the star of the wave. And he's just like with the economy he has is crazy. And his double research generator, the alien physiology, guys, that is the thing is, I wouldn't say it's a power crept research generator straight up because it's a 3 cost research generator. It's just a wild resource, right? So like the coin carrier, but and it can generate doubles for like Hulkling cards, which is where it's really insane. But at the same time, like with Pepper Potts, the research generator for Iron Man, she can generate doubles as well, right from the core set. So it's like I don't mind it. I think alien physiology is straight up better though because it's a wild, it has more flexibility. But at the same time, I think that it's not necessarily power crept from Pepper Potts, but like, yeah, I'm pretty worried about like this wave in particular. Like these heroes are pretty bonkers. So yeah, I don't know. Mono Ludico says that he disagrees with Spy Woman too. Oh, interesting. Okay, would you have her lower or like higher? Uh, Avengers Assemble says if anyone's new to the pool aspect and wants advice, simply start with healing factor in the resource cards and splash copious amounts of basic cards, then add in other pool cards that you like. Yeah, that's a great tip there. I would personally go with not the healing factor, but the resource cards for sure, but with stick to itness and not minor responsibility. I think that those will help a lot of new players. But also, I agree with you. Splashing copious amounts of basic cards is a great way to start playing pool, and you can like do more shenanigans after that. Um, where are we at with chat here? I hate that whenever someone chats something, the whole screen like goes up, and I had to like scroll back up. Alexi says, "I don't hate him." Who are we talking about? Oh, Peter Parker Spider-Man. I just find his kit a little bit more vanilla than some others I prefer to play. Yeah, he is strong though. Yeah, yeah, I agree. He's very vanilla, but like I just love vanillas. Like I love a white canvas that I can splash my own flair on, right? Like I think that if it's vanilla, but you can't actually like dye the color, that's not like my favorite. And if it's like if it's already like dyed a bunch of colors, right? Like very streamlined, then like I'm not a fan of it either, right? I want something super vanilla, super simple that I can like put my own like splash and flair on it. Uh, Mon Lucas says Ham C, Gwen A. Ham and C and Gwen A. Oh, interesting. Okay, okay. Gotcha. Alexi says this is off topic talking about power creep. But I played a White Wolf focused Nova deck today. Oh, yeah. You guys don't know. I should pull it up for you guys before we talk too much about it. Let me see here for chat. Now that I know that I can just switch the thing. White Wolf always improving on the streams, guys. I want to get better here. So let me share this tab. So we're talking about White Wolf. So force response after he attacks, you can place one threat on the main scheme. And let me see here. Alexi says, in Nova deck with White Wolf, again, standard Venom Goblin, and honestly beat him in like 4 turns. It was the same powerful. Yeah, because with Unleash Nova Force, I mean, White Wolf, it's constantly putting threat for you. And whenever you remove that threat with Nova, you can ready him. So usually basic activation to, do that. Ready Nova back up, and you can draw a card as well. That's insane. And White Wolf does not take constant damage for attacking. So you can do damage with White Wolf, play like a get ready for free, ready him back up, do more damage, add threat, use Nova again. That's a fun build. I might have to try the build. I've never tried that, I think. But Leadership Nova with White Wolf, I think I gotta try that soon. That's a really fun build. Avenger Symbol says, to be honest, I think SPDR is right up there with Spider-Ham as the most powerful web warrior. Ooh, that's an interesting take. Let me hop back over to tier list here. I think that built out, she's definitely in contention with Spider-Ham. The problem with the Spider Suit is I think that her building out can be difficult, like similar to Iron Man, right? I think that if she dies before she's built out or something like that, or she has like bad luck with her first like 4 cards, she can draw 2 more cards, of course, but like she really needs to pop off in those initial turns. And if the villain has a lot of early villain pressure, she can struggle a little bit. Nar says for power, but they do like the course needs to be A tier or S tier for power. Okay, interesting. They do need to be fun as well. I think there's enough heroes in the core for players to find a hero they can connect with. Yeah, for sure. There's so much variety too, right? Like Black Panther with the Black Panther upgrades, that's like a fun, unique flair. Iron Man building out the suit, that's also fun in that direction. She-Hulk with the form flipping shenanigans, right? I think that there's a lot of interesting stuff there. Andrew Dunn says, I love Hulkling. Dude, yeah, I love Hulkling. He's one of my favorites. I think that he is a peak design, but I don't know. Like, I just don't want to be that powerful. One thing I will say is I have seen people say that Hulkling is not strong when they play him. So that makes me think that you have to actually like abuse his kit to like get the full power out of him, which I enjoy more if you have to do that versus just like being outright powerful. Alexi says Tiger and Hulkling have too much built-in economy, making them crazy strong. Yeah, the economy. Thing is, I like that every hero will have like new heroes have economy, but it's just too much economy. They're super fun, but slightly overtuned. Yeah, I agree. Jack Bell says would like to do Garden tier list. Ooh, maybe next then. Let me actually. I don't know if I want to have a poll asking you guys. I think I might have a poll on my channel asking you guys if you guys want to see the Garden tier list next. Andrew Nelson says, though I think Hulkling has an OP deck. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think I'll have a community poll and I'll ask you guys for the next tier list, which one that we will do. But I'll definitely keep the Gardens in mind. That would be an option. So thank you for the suggestion, Jack Bell. Avengers Assemble. Nick Fury definitely feels like unearned power with full recovery and stuff like his car and watch and ability. The Nick Fury hero. He's not necessarily overtuned. He just feels more powerful than his character should be. Oh, okay, yeah. I seriously, I totally agree, dude. Like, I think that Nick is not like overpowered here at all, but I think that it's Nick Fury. He shouldn't be that strong, right? I feel like he's doing so much more damage than superheroes, and like I don't know. I don't think he's. But one thing though, that Nick Fury. Can you guys let me know down in chat if you guys know this? So from what I know, that Nick Fury, played by Samuel L. Jackson in the MCU. So that Nick Fury does not have any powers. So if the Nick Fury Mark James is based off that one, then he's overtuned. But from what I know from the comics, from the Ultimate Universe with Miles Morales, so like that, like whenever he started from that universe, right? The Nick Fury there was that same Nick Fury that we have. And that Nick Fury was actually a super soldier, like the first super soldier before Captain America. So he would have powers. Either way, though, I'm not sure where the kit for the Marvel Champions Nick Fury came from. Let me actually pull up his cards. But the Nick Fury from Marvel Champions, I feel like a lot of his powers is with his guns, right? Like it's not necessarily like with his with like super soldier like serum strength type of thing, right? So let's share this tab here for you guys. So like why is he like, is this based off the comics? I'm assuming Marvel Champions has to be based off the comics. I'm not super knowledgeable on this, on like how he works, but like this is definitely not MCU Nick Fury, right? Because Nick Fury doesn't have like he's not that strong, right? Like he's just a regular dude. But I feel like these guns are like using like crazy abilities, and like this assault stealth suit thing. I don't think the MCU Nick Fury has that. So is this like a comic book Nick Fury that has super soldier strength? I know that the worlds ended up colliding right with the original universe as well. So if you guys know about that, let me know down in the chat. Let me see. Andrew Nutt says this wave was OP, but I think next wave Herc and Wonder would not be as strong. Yeah, I think that Hercules definitely looks a lot more balanced, which I like. I'm excited for. Wonder Man, I don't know, dude. You don't think he looks over too? He looks pretty bonkers. The thing is, I'm more excited for Wonder Man than I am for Hercules because Wonder Man looks so crazy. So like, yeah, I'm very excited for that. Yeah, they reached out to me, like Fantasy Flight Games reached out to me for the next card reviews. I'm not able to say like too much about it, but they actually asked, like they can't guarantee that we'll get whatever cards that we want, but they actually asked what we prefer. And I said that I prefer to get Wonder Man card reviews. So we'll see. Like obviously, like if other people also want Wonder Man card reviews, then I won't be able to get it. But that's what I would prefer. So like yeah, that's what I said. And I haven't heard back. So like I'm still more excited for Wonder Man, even though he may be so overpowered. But I'm very excited for him. His kit looks crazy fun with the overpaying. That mechanic, the overpaying mechanic, looks really interesting, and it's in design space they haven't really like explored. So I'm excited to see that. Um, Let me see here. Let's see. Noir Antler says two-handed SPDR with Avengers teammate to get the honorary Avenger so she can play Yellow Jacket. Oh yeah. That's that's a really fun two-handed build. Yeah, definitely for like multiplayer. That's a lot of fun there. Yeah, Yellow Jacket works with so many cool heroes, like with the upgrades. I just wish that it wasn't locked to Avengers. Avenger Symbol says Nar Antlers exactly. Avenger Symbol says this series was fun. I agree. I'd love to have Winter Gardens next. Okay, cool guys. I'm definitely have a a poll asking about the Guardians for you guys. Alexi says, yeah, at first glance they don't seem crazy. Hercules seems likely like he can get there for sure, but you need to spend quite a lot of time. Yeah, I think he needs to get built out. Wonder Man looks crazy with the amount of resources he can generate. Yeah, like he looks insane. Avenged Assemble says exactly. Resource economy is what makes heroes overpowered. Yeah, I agree. Like that's like probably the most important thing for heroes. And every hero can have access to easier to put down generators by having triple resources like pool. Yeah, totally agree. Sorry, I'm just a pool fanatic. Hey, sorry, channel called the pool fanatic. I mean, that's totally fair. Ritzy Rios might have to fight for you, fight with you for who gets that title though, because I know she loves the pool aspect as well. All right, guys, that is it here for this video, this here's debate here with chat. 83% of you guys voted to that you like our tier list, and 17% voted that I don't mind. So okay, I'm glad that no one did not agree with it at all. So I'm glad to hear that on the poll, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I appreciate you guys so much. This one was a lot of fun. This is I think this is my favorite stream that we've done so far. This one, yeah, this one was so much fun, guys. I like this one a lot. So yeah, thank you guys so much for taking the time to join me for this tier list here. And yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. And hopefully we'll have a garden one soon. I am gonna ask the whole entire channel. I have a community poll. But yeah, vote for gardens if that's the one you guys want to do next. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Nar Antlers, Domo tier list, gotta put like half our cards in S tier to synergy. We'll see what happens. We will see. Avengers Assemble says yes. Jack Bell, cheers, well for that. Great fun. Thank you, man. Ritzy Roo says great stuff. Thank you, Ritzy. Andrew Nelson says thank you. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Like I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for tuning on the stream. I'm glad you guys had fun. Mon Lucas says thank you. Alexa says take care. Yeah, take care, guys, as well. Avengers Assemble says Donald's cards are all solid. Whoops, that question made it. Mark made it an accident. That's funny. Yeah. Donald's cards are all solid, is what he's saying. Have a good one, Web Warrior. Yeah, thank you guys. Have an amazing rest of your day, guys. I'll see you guys soon in another live stream. I think for the next live stream, if they do a card preview or a new like teaser for like a hero, something like that, I'll do a live stream for that. But yeah, that'll be lots of fun. And I may do a live stream for card reviews too. Yeah. So yeah, that might be fun too. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. I had a lot of fun. Hope you guys had fun too. And yeah, you guys all take care. I'll see you guys all in the next video and the next live stream.